Hey everybody, Will here from PPC Coach. Thank you for coming on the webinar. This is the first one of three, basically, that we're going to do. So first things first, just want to make sure that you can hear and see me. So give me a 1 in the chat box if you're good to go. Awesome. Lots of ones, good. Lots of people on here. Everybody pumped for Valentine's Day. It's going to be huge. It's actually... I would put it on the level of like Christmas. I mean, Christmas has a little bit more people looking for gifts, but Valentine's Day has a lot of people spending money anyway. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to show you a couple things, like, you know, about Valentine's Day, about setting some goals, and then some research, and then getting some designs done. And then next webinar, we're actually going to upload the design and start the test campaigns. And then the following one after that, we're going to take the results from our test campaigns and we're going to scale. So it is a process. It is a system that we're going to go through. I'm going to show you the whole thing. If you guys haven't seen already, in the forums, there is a spot where you can go and look at the previous challenges that we did for Christmas. In the previous challenge, or completed challenge section, right in the top of each forum section, there's that sticky thread. And there's all the videos and all the replays in there, so you can see those, so you get a lot of value there too. But we are focused on Valentine's Day, and I'll tell you right off the bat, I was just talking to one of my one-on-one guys yesterday about this, and there's three basic areas that we're going to attack, or niches, we'll call them, within Valentine's Day. So number one, the most passionate one that I've found over the years is engaged. That's the most passionate niche. I think these guys, they just like pop the question maybe over Christmas, or you know, recently within the past year, and they're engaged, they're psyched, they're happy, and they want to make sure that their first Valentine's Day with their new wife is good. It's you know, exciting and good, and they're still passionate about this. The second one is girlfriend, so boyfriend to girlfriend. That's very popular and works very, very well. And the third one on like the, you know, passion list is husband to wife. So a lot of husbands are still very pumped about having their wives, but it's not necessarily like their first Valentine's, whereas engaged is the first. That's why it's a little bit more passionate. So if I were to give you any advice, I would say start with engaged, and then go to boyfriend to girlfriend, and then go to husband to wife, in that order. That way, I think you're going to hit the most passionate one first. And I'll show you exactly how to do all this and how to find this stuff using, there's tons of different sites and tons of different ways to do it. And actually, Google Sheets just made an update too, which is awesome because we can add images now to Sheets. So when we're doing our research, we can actually add images right into the cells so that we can see what we were looking at, and it makes it a lot easier. And it's also good for testing and tracking too, which I'll show you in the next webinar, how we can use our Sheets. Once we have the design, we'll actually stick the image right in the cell, and then we can have the image along with all the other info. That way we can track things very, very nicely. So anyway, we do have a lot to cover, and let's just dive right in. So you can see, you know, when you go to Google and you're like Valentine's Day stats, what's going on here? Well, the first thing that pops up is like 19.6 billion projected Valentine's Day spending in the US this year. I think that was for 2008. It's probably higher this year, right? So that's huge. And if you go, I think this is an article from last year, but I mean, close enough, right? So there's like, it's no surprise Americans are spending money to show their love on Valentine's Day. That's what we're going to do too. We're going to help them spend money to show their love, right? So 19.6 billion projected Valentine's Day spending in the US alone. In Canada, they spend a ton. UK, they spend a ton. All over the world, they spend a ton of money. 143.56 million dollars is the average amount US consumers are estimated to spend for Valentine's related gifts in 2018. All right, so that's like your flowers, your cards, I don't know if that includes like a dinner out or something, but check this one out. 4.7 billion total spending on jewelry for Valentine's Day. So let's go here. Where do they get this? Top categories, gifts, planning to give, would love to receive, none of the above. Anyway, I thought that was very cool. That's a lot of money, right? So guess what we're selling? Jewelry. And so we're going to take full advantage of this, big time. People are buying cards. People are spending money on their pets. Number of single people 18 and older in 2016, according to the U.S. Census Bureau. Okay. Cards exchanged 144 million. And whatever that is, 75% chocolate share of the total amount of Valentine's Day candy sales. Wow, chocolate. So if you have a chocolate shop, holy cow. Chocolate and flowers, I guess. Almost 1 billion amount that victims in the US and Canada have lost to online dating scammers and catfishers over the past 3 years, according to a February study by the Better Business Bureau. Wow. Way too many people call Valentine's Day Valentine's Day. I know a couple people that do that. So anyway, the point is, there's a ton of money and there's a huge pie out there, and we're going to get your piece of the pie. So if the pie is like in the billions, even for, overall it's 19.6, and they're saying 4.7 billion is spent on jewelry. This was 2018. Imagine you get even a small little fraction of that pie. That'd be pretty good, right? Well, that's what we're going to do. So first things first, let's go and let's set some goals. So go here for you after the webinar, ppc-coach.com/goals. This will take you to the goal sheet. And what I want you to do, your first homework, is to go here and figure out what the heck do I want to do. Okay, so this is the goals. For me, I did it for 2020 for the whole year. So let's say we're doing just the Valentine's Day thing. And let's say we want to get like $100 a day profit, just something small. So if I go here, it's view only, right? So I can't type. So what you have to do is go file. Oh, I don't want to do that. Am I not signed in? I'm not signed in. Okay, hang on. I had to restart my computer, so I was hoping to do the two-factor thing. Try this. There we go. Now I can do it. So when you get this, go to File and make a copy, and then you'll be able to edit this. Okay. So for me, I know that 365 times 100 is $36,500, and I know that the ROI that on average is about 40% on this paid traffic stuff. So daily, what this means is I'll need to be hitting these numbers. So if I want to make $100 a day, I'm gonna have to spend 250, but I'm gonna pull in 350, so my profit is 100 at 40% ROI. So for the month, what does that mean? Well, it basically means this. I'm going to have a revenue of $10,645.83. I'm going to spend $7,604.17, and I'm going to put that $3,041.67 in my pocket. Okay, if you look at the yearly numbers, my revenue is going to be over 6 figures. But I'm going to spend close to 6 figures to hit that profit mark. All right, so what I want you to do is play with this sheet and punch in whatever you want to do per day. So if it's 50, then just divide that by 2, which is what? 13,250. Did that right? No, man. My math sucks. No, that's right. What the heck is 36.5 divided by 2? It's really, I need more coffee. Let me get those here. 36,500. Yeah. Missed it by 5,000. Wow, good thing I'm not an accountant. There. So say you go, okay, well, I don't want to do 100 a day. I just want to do 50 a day. All right, well, to make 50 a day at 40% ROI, you're going to spend 125. You're going to pull in 175. Your profit is 50 bucks a day. Every month, that's 1,500. Every year, that's 18. So for me, if I'll show you my goal. This is for the year. I want to do 500,000 profit for 2020 just on necklaces. So that means, yeah, like look at this number. So I'm gonna have to spend $1.25 million in ads in order to bring in a revenue of 1.75. But look at the daily numbers. So it breaks it down. Almost 4,800 revenue per day. 3,400 I have to spend per day in order to hit that, and that would pull in 1,300 profit per day. So you can see all these numbers really, they're eye-opening for a lot of people because they go, well, I want to do paid traffic, but, and I want to make big bucks, but I don't want to really spend anything. Well, this amount here that you're spending, that's your risk. Okay, your risk, the higher the risk, the higher the reward. So the more you spend, the more the reward. If you do it right. If you do it wrong, you're never going to get there. Okay, so the only difference between you and somebody pulling in like $500,000, $1 million a year from paid traffic is they're spending more, and they have systems in place that they're following as well. But really, you can't jump from zero to spending like $3,400 a day overnight. It just doesn't happen. You got to start a lot smaller. That's why I say set your goals smaller to start and then go from there. So even spending, for people to spend like $125 a day, they might go, whoa, that's like, holy cow, $3,800 a month. I can't do that. Well, can you do this? Because that's reasonable at 40%. You know, and what if you happen to pull 50%? You can change this number. All of a sudden your numbers change too. 50%'s, I would say, a little high right now. 40% is what I average, so that's what I used. So I hope that makes sense. Yeah, somebody said put $1 million in there. There you go. So you want to do $1 million in 2020? Oh, no problem. You got to spend that much per day at 40% ROI in order to hit it. So if you can spend $6,800 per day, which is $208,000 per month, you're going to hit it at 40% ROI. Pulling in like nice profit daily. Actually, I've hit this profit in a day, not consistently, but I've done it. And I've spent a little bit less than that to do it. So it is possible, but you do have to spend a lot of money. And I know guys that are spending way more than this per day, and they're pulling in really good profits. So anything is possible, but just play with this goal sheet. These are the two numbers that you can adjust. I would suggest just the profit one. All right. So now you know Valentine's Day is huge. You know how to tinker with your profit sheet. Just go file, make a copy to get there. I can even put the link. It's just ppc-coach.com/goals, and that will allow you to edit this sheet. And then in here, we're going to go and we're going to start looking for, you know, necklaces. Like, what can we do? And so where are we going to put these things? Well, I'll show you. We're going to create a sheet. So go to google.com/sheets, hit a new one, and we're going to title this Valentine's Day 2020 Research. And then here, we've got our columns, and this, it's just like Excel, but it's online. It's really good. So we can go like this. We can go image, niche, quote, status. So what we're going to do is we're going to go and start looking for images. In the niche, we're going to start with engaged. Or then we're going to try and find quotes, and then we're going to put the status. And the status just means, do you have the order in for a designer, or are you doing it yourself? Like, is the design pending? Is it complete? What status are you at here? And then we'll add more columns as we go once we get into the testing phase. So we'll just make this a little prettier. But you do need to be tracking this stuff as far as what you're doing. You could even put a date column in here too if you want. So we can go in here, insert one to the left, put the date. So this will show kind of, you know, what did I do today? So 01/09/ So January 9th, that's the niche I'm looking at. So let's go find a quote or an image, and let's put a status in here, and the status will be pending. All right, so there's pending, there's like getting design, there's got design, there's testing, there's winner, you know, whatever it may be. But this will just allow us to keep track of everything kind of in one spot very nicely. Okay, so let's go to our first place, which is the mighty Google. And we're going to do this. So it's already in there. You go site, and then :facebook.com, and then we're going to go to my fiance and necklace. Now, why did I do that? Why didn't I just go to Facebook to find to my fiance necklaces? Because Google is actually indexing Facebook better than Facebook indexes itself. So the search on Facebook sucks. The search on Google kicks ass. So we can always go to Google Direct and see what comes up. So you can see that one of the first ones is this. So if we just open that in a new tab, we can go to this, and I'm sure this is a store. I hope it's nobody's store on here, but look at that. November 12th, 2019. Hey you, Yes, you. Remind your wife how much you love her. Perfect gift that she will love. I hope this is nobody on the site here, but you can see order here. So let's click it. And it takes them to the store. And you can see it says, to my wife, you are my today, tomorrow, and forever. Love your husband. Whenever I look at you, I see the rest of my life in front of my eyes. Okay, $39.99. This one's from ShineOn, I can tell, just from the box. They left it on the default pricing, that's cool. Oh, they got this wheelio thing here. So another thing you can do is just copy this name. Oops. Damn. And you might get different results depending on where you're located, but there'll be more posts in there too. Look, to my fiance, right there. So you could go click it, you could check it. So what I'll do is I use Snag It, and I'll just grab this. And I'll just go like that. Save it to over here. This is Snag It's editor. File, save as, and I'll just save it as images, and I'll call this to my fiance 1. And then what I can do is go here to my research sheet, and I can go click on that cell and go insert image, image and cell, choose an image to upload, and I'll go to my image file. And it's going to put it really small in here. So what I need to do is adjust this down so I can actually see it. I can also move this over a little bit, just so you can read it. Because really the cell height and width doesn't matter to us. I mean, we've got unlimited space. So you can get an idea there, and then what I can do is kind of type in the quote right here. So what I'll do is, so I can't really read that, I'm going to move this to a new window. I'll go back here, and I'm just going to type the quote. It'll go on the bottom, so it says, oops, to my fiance, no measure of time with you will be long enough, but let's start with forever. Of your husband to be. And then you can put status pending. So there's one. Now, am I going to use this one? I'm never going to make an exact copy of this because that's not cool. Don't do that. But you can certainly take this saying and put it onto a brand new design that looks nothing like this. Okay, make sure it's unique. And what you can even do is say, when you're going to the designer on Fiverr, you can say, okay, I want it to say this, and then here's a design. If you like the design, say, I kind of like this basic style. Just make it look a lot different so that, you know, if you're holding one up in the left hand and one up in the right hand, they look nothing alike, and then you're good to go. Then you're not copying. If you say to a designer, hey, do this exactly like this and make a carbon copy, then you're copying direct, and that's not cool. So don't do that. Take the quote, put it on a brand new design, maybe a brand new, completely different style. Maybe put on a Gearbubble one instead of ShineOn, and go from there. All right. Now the other little caveat is when we see something that's already out there, somebody's already selling it, then they have taken something. In this case, I haven't seen this quote really much before. So it's unique, and if you're unique and you're first to market, you're going to do a lot better than just copying the same old rehash stuff, which I'll show you some, old stuff that people just keep selling and selling and selling, which does work, but unique and first to market works best. So even if you take pieces of this and combine it with pieces of another quote that you find and make them mesh nicely, that will do a little bit better than just copying somebody else's quote, right? See what I mean? So that's how you do that, but we're not done. I hate to pick on this website or this Facebook page, but I'm going to. So you can do this for any store you find on Facebook too. So I'm just going to copy that name. Then I'm going to go back here. I'm going to go to Facebook again. But this time I'm going to type in /ads/library because we're in research mode. So let's paste that in there. And there's the page. It's a brand new one, so I really hate to do this to this guy or girl. Now, filter by Canada. So the page was created in March. Primary country for people who manage this page. Holy crap. Canada, Ukraine. Man, there's a lot of people behind that. So they're not really targeting Canada. However, they are targeting, looks like, they launched a bunch in December. You can do different countries. You can do just US if you wanted. But then if you click here, you can see there's 20 ads. 20 variations of this ad. It means they're using a dynamic creative. So you can go through and you can look at what they're doing. There's a girlfriend one. There's a fiance one. You can get a bunch of different. This looks like they're retargeting carousel ad. There's a police wife. So they just niche down a little bit, which is cool. So anyway, ads library can work very well for you. In order to find, all you do is put in the advertiser's name, and then you can find them. So if we go back here and we're looking for more, we go back to Google, and here's Happy Home Fiance Necklace. So let's open that one up. And let's see, surprise your fiance with this beautiful necklace and melt her heart. Order here. So let's just see what they're doing. Is it a store? No, it's Gearbubble. There's a fiance one from Gearbubble. So to my fiance, God bless the broken road that led me straight to you. So if I wanted to, I could do a little screen grab here. Right. Save that as to my fiance 2, and then just repeat it again. So go back to my sheet, this one, and then again. So click the cell, insert image and cell here, and then just adjust this height so we can actually see it. And put your date. And notice I'm not being super picky about what I'm putting in here, because the more I have in my sheet, the more choices I have when I go to get my own designs done. And I can pick and choose pieces from quotes to get my own quotes done. So if I have like, this is like my database that I'm building up for my research, and I'm gonna find ones that are like, meh, so-so. I'm gonna find ones that I really like. And when I find a necklace and a style of design that I really like, then I can take a screenshot of it and save it to my computer, put it into my sheet, and then when I go to Fiverr, which I'm going to, I can include that screenshot and say, hey, here's the quote I want. I really like this style. Can you put this quote on this style? And the designer will be able to do it. So God blessed the broken road that led me to, me straight to you. I love you. Okay, and then pending. There we go. So we've got 2 in the database. Need more. So what do we do now? Well, let's go back here. It's called Happy Home. So why don't we just see if there's anything in the ad library for Happy Home. There it is. So when you see it's got 244,000 likes, it means that the guys or girls been around quite a bit. And they've been running ads for a while because, Trump mugs, more necklaces. So you can see how you just keep going down the rabbit hole, right? And you'll find more and more. So this is kind of cool because to my wife, I loved you then, love you still, always have and always will. If you want to see something neat, I'll just do an incognito window because I need to go to Gearbubble to get to the main page. If I go shop, top sellers, you'll see, look at this. Let's see if it's the same URL. So this one has 11,512 sold. And let's grab that URL. It's wife-gold from Gearbubble. Okay, I'm just going to move this to the side because I want to see if this leads to wife-gold. Let's see. You know what we just found? We just found the source of this necklace. We just found the page that is the source of it. Pretty cool, right? You know what that means? It means we landed on like a mother lode because we know, even though it's not showing here, we know how many sales it's got from here. So 11,512 were sold here. This is the landing page for it. They're selling it at $34.95. This is the ad that they used to sell it. And this ad is still running, like right now. So that's pretty awesome. They're using a, well, they should probably change this copy because it should say Valentine's Day gift, but I'm sure the people running this know what they're doing. And Happy Home, we just hit on a really good one. So when we go back here, we can look at the other ones that they're running. To my gorgeous wife. Thank you for being my best friend, my naughty lover, and my life partner. Cool. I like that one too. So let's go like this. Take a little screenshot. So we've got a couple in here that we can do screenshots of. Save. File. Now this is to my wife, but the beauty of this niche is we can actually substitute, like, instead of to my wife, to my gorgeous fiance. Thank you for being my best friend, my naughty lover, and my life partner. To my girlfriend, thank you for being my best friend, my naughty lover, and my life partner. To my wife, thank you for being my best friend, you know? So you got basically 3 that you could do based on one, or something like this too. To my girlfriend, to my fiance. I loved you then, love you still, always have, always will. This will work. Okay, you can even take this design and you can say, no, I'm not going to do it on there. I'm going to do it on a heart-shaped one instead, right? Now the quote has been around forever, but it works, and they're still selling it years and years later. So I'll just go like this. So let's take a little screen of that one too. Let's save this one as, because we know a lot about this, to my wife too. And notice how simple the design is. It's basically black background, 2 rings, gold writing. That's it. Black background, little ornamental, gold writing. The designs that people are doing now are like super fancy, so you could come up with even fancier than this. Started running. Oh boy. December 6th, 2016. It is now 2020. This has been running for like 4 years. Amazing. I know whose this is. That's why I don't mind showing this, because he doesn't mind if you bring him more sales either. So let's go like this. Let's go insert, image, image and sell, choose. I think it was wife too, this one. So then we'll just make this bigger, fit. If you get a white space, just make it a little smaller. There we go. Now let's just copy this. Well, let's copy these 2. Save some typing. Copy this. Paste. And then this is simply to my wife. I love you then. Love you still. And I'll tell you, this particular quote, it has been used and used and used, but I even have one that I did that's using it. It's a heart-shaped one, and it's working. So unique, no. Working, yes. And we could even put a column here called notes if we want. And then this column, let's just fix this up. White text, black background. You know what? Let's make these bold. Better. Okay, so under notes we could put Gearbubble top seller 11, what was it, 512 units sold. And you could even put like we could go, oops. All right, you know what? Let's do a whole column for that too. So let's do another column called page name for future reference. And you might want to like the page too, that way you'll see all their ads. So I know people like all my pages. And like I said, don't copy them direct. Now what was this one? I can't even remember. Yeah, can't remember which one this one was called. ShineOn. So just copy this page name. Because you can always check back too and see if they've got new stuff going on. Kind of spy on them a little bit. Nothing wrong with spying. There's a lot wrong with copying direct though. So don't go to this guy or girl's store and copy their design exactly. You can keep an eye on what they're doing, but do your own unique thing. Don't do an exact copy of this, you know, do up your own. I would suggest doing like a heart shape and changing out the rings to like hearts or something else. But you can keep the same thing. And remember too, this could be to my girlfriend, to my fiance, to my wife. So you've got like 3 right there. This, I'm not a fan of the God stuff, but it seems to work. So you could do to my wife, God bless broken road that led me straight to you, I love you. You do to my girlfriend, same thing, to my fiance. Basically any of these, you could just substitute out the 3 different niches. So it looks, the way, when when Google made this update, they made everything look a lot better on the sheets. Because the sheets before kind of stunk because we couldn't put in the images. So it didn't look nearly as good as it does now. Now imagine you've got this, right? And you're building this out and you've got a database of where did I find it? What was the date? What's the niche? What's the quote? What's the status? Now you're tracking stuff, right? So your goal is to kind of fill this sheet with as many as possible. And I'm going to fill it with a couple more too, just to show you what it's going to look like. And then I'm going to pick and choose, you know, which one do I want to do a design of? Do I like this design with this quote? Okay, then I'll show that to my designer, right? So let's go find a couple more using, and remember, I found everything based on this, just click on the first 2. So here's another one, unconditional love. All right, let's check it out. See what they got. To my daughter, I love you forever. I'll like you for always, as long as I'm living, my baby will be. Oh, Robert Punch, quote. This style is interesting because this is actually a style that I developed a long time ago and people copied it, but they've moved to different quotes, which is fine. And they've got different images over here, which is fine too. So I have no problem with that. This one seems to be more daughter stuff. Be careful when you do quotes that could be trademarked. I loved you yesterday, I love you still, always have, always will. So that's a popular mug on Gearbubble. To my daughter. Oh, to my gorgeous fiance. If I had to choose between loving you and breathing, I would use my last breath to tell you I love you. Oh, that's sweet. So let's go here. Let's just see. The beauty of this Gearbubble thing too is I can go here and I can type in some keywords. See what comes up. There's even a lot on here that you can use. So these are, even though they're not showing, some of these do show the amount sold. These are ordered by amount sold, but the person who's done this is smart. They've actually hidden the amount sold so that guys like us can't, and women like us can't come in here and kind of snoop on them. But if you look at this, this is a recent one. So to my fiance, I wish I could turn back the clock. I'd find you sooner, love you longer. If I could give you one thing in my life, I give you the ability to see yourself through my eyes. Only then would you realize how special you are to me. Love your man. Now, awesome, works. However, my only beef with this is the writing's really small. So it's going to be very difficult to read, but you could certainly pull, oops, moved over too fast. You could split this into like probably 2 necklaces in my mind. We know it's a top seller, which is good, but let's just grab a screenshot. And And then let's go, I'll show you a little trick here to reverse this. So if I found it on Gearbubble, what's this, to my fiance 3. Let me just put it into my little spreadsheet. And then I'll show you how to like find the page that came from. So let's go here, let's go insert, image cell, choose an image. So even when I do it here, like I have trouble reading this. Which, so here's the thing. We are not doing customer service because we're not doing a store. So basically the poor people at Gearbubble are gonna have to do the customer service on this, which means they're probably gonna get complaints. So that's why I'm not a huge fan of this style. The upside is they really do sell because they look good, but once a person gets it, they cannot read it. But I mean, on the same token, you can't read the inscription on a ring either. Like when you give a wedding ring or a wedding band, you can't read the inside, right? So you could say that. I mean, so I wish I could turn back the clock. I'd find you sooner and love you longer. To me, that's the necklace right there. They're just like combining a bunch. If I could give you one thing, just trying to read it, in life, I think that's right. See yourself through my eyes. Only then would you realize you are to me, love your man. There we go. All right, so I've got that. I mean, technically, I could put in the URL here that on Gearbubble too if I wanted. But so I'm going to pull this over here. So here's the landing page. I would actually bump that price to $39.95 personally, because you can sell silver at $39.95. Done it. So let's go back here. Let's just go to one we already looked at, Happy Home. So go to the search, and unless they use the URL shortener, we should be able to find this. Looks like they may have used a URL shortener. See if there's anything in here. Yeah, so step 2. Let's go, well, let's do a new Google. Nothing. Okay, so the person who did this did use a URL shortener. So we can't find it that way, but if they didn't, we could search Facebook for that URL, and then we could see the page that it came from. But we could also try this. I'm just copying a piece of this. Then I can go back to here. I don't know if anything will come up. Oh, there we go. Girlfriend, perfect gift from your boyfriend. I don't know if that's it. No. Family stuff. Love you more, love you more. Surprise your man with this. Well, there's the image. If we go here, that's the image. If we go here, there, found it. Love you more. So it took a little bit, and we can see that even though they hit it with this redirect, which will go to the Gearbubble page, guys like me know how to get around that. So I do apologize to the person if it's somebody on here, but it is possible to find your stuff even if there is a redirect. So Now what we're going to do is just take this, love you more, copy, and we're going to go to the old ads library. All right, let's go here. Let's paste this in. And love you more. There it is. And the cool part is too, when you punch in something, you'll get a bunch of other ones too. Like look at this, my husband, I love you more. I loved you more, 860. So that might be worth investigating too. So keep an eye on suggestions that come up, but there's the one we want. There's no ads running right now. So interesting. There's nothing running on that. You would think that would be running. 2 from Vietnam, 1 from UK. Cool. Anyway, we found it. Found the page. So now we can go back to our sheet and we can put in that paste values only. There. Now we can keep an eye on that. And we could even go here and say, pull up that window again. So on the Gearbubble kind of top sellers, it's number 2 under fiance. So I might want to put a note of that. GB. There. So we've got that, got another note. Good to go. And I haven't even got to the other ways that I find stuff. Like we're only on number 3. I mean, there's that one again. They must be doing some SEO stuff, but let's see that. Mom's Bedeau jewelry. I don't know what that is. Happy relationship. Okay, let's try this one. See if I have anything. To my love. Mug. To my boyfriend. To my girlfriend. There's a girlfriend one. It's from last year. When you're looking at the post too, if you look at how many comments they have, you can basically tell if it's a popular one or not. Because sometimes if you find one that has like thousands and thousands of comments, it means they're running a lot of ads to it. So stuff like this, I would probably say is not really selling all that well. So let's just keep going. See if anything sticks out. Family stuff. Ooh, don't want the M. Sometimes Facebook will take in the mobile one, which looks really weird. In a world full of grandmas, B-A-G-G. So that's grandma. To my wife, there's a blanket. See if they have anything else. So it looks like this person is bouncing around quite a bit. My husband, my man, my angel wife. Yeah, I would say that's just somebody bouncing around. Anyway, so you can use that a lot, and you can find a lot of good stuff with it. I'm just going to close all the tabs to the right, because that's not the only way we can find stuff. There's also good old Pinterest. And then we can go here, and we can just search for, let's say, necklace, see what comes up. And in here, you'll see, like, here's the first one. To my future wife, I love you forever and always. Cool. But there's more like this too. So you get a whole bunch of other ones. So to my wife, to my beautiful wife, to my future wife again, to my wife, to my gorgeous wife. Like, man, there's like a crap ton in here. My wife is the coolest, sweetest, blah, blah, blah. To my granddaughter, love grandpa. Look at all the necklaces. And this is a split between, I would say, Gearbubble and ShineOn. But again, you can find so many. Look, there's somebody who took that design. See, that's too close to the other one we saw on Gearbubble, unless it is the actual person. Let's go to the link. So let's open that in a new tab. which will lead me to my next one anyway, which is Etsy. So you can see they are on Etsy with a bangle from ShineOn, so that's cool. You can get so many in here. That is actually one of my designs that I think I gave away at one point. Daddy daughter necklace. What store is this? Oh, Shoppers Club store. Let's see. Yeah, you can really, I mean, once you go down the rabbit hole, it's endless. And once you've been doing this long enough too, you're gonna see designs that of your own that people like copied, which sucks, but it happens. So let's go back up to the top. So this one was "To my future wife, I love you forever and always." I'm not crazy about the design just because it doesn't really pop enough, but I really like the quote, so I think that's a good thing. But I can also go to this, to their store on Etsy, and I can look at what else they have. You see they have 42 sales, been around since 2018. They've got a bunch of different necklaces, so this person's really putting in the effort, which is good. May have a winner or two in here. Not sure. You can always check comments too. The comments on Etsy are weird because they show the comments for the whole store. But if you see comments for like one product being hit over and over and over again, it means that they're selling a lot. So this one is good. I think this person's close, but they're not quite getting the mushy side. We want to be super mushy when we're doing these. I'm just looking for a design that pops. Let's try this. "To my gorgeous wife, without you I'm nothing, with you I am something, together we're everything." There we go. That's a good one. So if you look down here, you can see that the comments are mainly on a tumbler and a mug, but still, not bad. Actually looks probably better in gold. Yeah, that looks really nice. I like that. That's well done. So, I'm sure this is probably one of my students already, but they may or may not be on this call, but I'm just gonna, I like the design, so do a little screenshot. I'm not gonna copy them, but I'm going to do my research and I'm gonna say this. What's this one? "To my gorgeous wife." So, "To my wife, 3. All right, and then let's put that in our little sheet. Because I like that design, I can easily get that done up with a different quote. So let's go insert image, image and cell. And don't be as picky as I am when you're putting these designs in your database. Call this your database, right? Because you want to get a good feel of a bunch of different options. So again, let's go like this. That's not engaged, but 01/09/2020. It could be engaged. I could easily switch this to it, say "To my fiance," which I'm going to. Well, I'll put this: "To my wife, without you, I am nothing. With you, I am something. Together, we are everything. I love you." And then if I want to, I don't even know if this person has a Facebook page, but it's harder to track it from here. I'm going to say they're just putting it on Etsy. I could be wrong. What's the store name here? Creative Mug and Beyond. So, real fast way to find out. Go here. You're trying to figure out, does this person have a, are they just selling stuff on Etsy, or are they selling it on Facebook, or are they selling it, where are they selling it? So, no, so let's go like this. No, their name's not coming up, but they could have it under a different name. I mean, if I really wanted, I'm going to say they don't have anything on Facebook. They're just selling on Etsy, which is fine. So, Tom, oops. Okay, so I hit somebody. 394 sales, they're doing pretty good. And there, look at, to my gorgeous girlfriend, I may not be your first love, first kiss, first sight, or first date, but I want to be your last everything. I love you. Notice anything? The designs are the same. They just swapped out the quote. So this may be somebody I've taught. In which case, good job. You're kicking butt because you're doing good work. So I'm going to get off your site. But we can find more here too. This one. I loved you yesterday. Love you still. Always have. Always will. Here, Family Love Shop. So now we got a Shopify store. These are gold mines too, because if you go to necklaces and you go to, oh, I don't know, wife, you can see all their wife stuff. And if they got 61 products, then they're probably doing pretty good. A good date, new to old. You can see what their newest stuff is. This is the store getting into like everything. Or we'll go best selling. And we can see it's this one. So let's open that up. And I know that's a ShineOn necklace. To my gorgeous wife, if I had to choose between loving you and breathing, I'd use my last breath to tell you I love you. Where have we seen that before, ladies and gentlemen? Let's go back here. Let's go here. Nope, here. Let's go clear this. Gearbubble. And where was it? There it is. To my wife, if I had to choose between loving you and breathing, I'd use my last breath to tell you I love you. And that looks a lot like that. Let's put them side by side. So it could be the same person, or like this, I would call a carbon copy. It's either the same person or they carbon copied somebody. So this is a case where I would say they copied them. They sent it to a designer because the rings are different, but everything else is like pretty much identical. That's too close in my mind. Like you got to mix it up a little bit. Like they even have the lettering set out the same way. So I guarantee this person found this one on Gearbubble and went to a designer on Fiverr and said, hey, can you copy this but make it for ShineOn? And they did. But just unless it's the same person, you got to change it up a bit because that's way too close. So now that is a bestseller over here, I guess, based on this one, right? Do we have this one in our database? I don't even know. I think we do. I took a screenshot. Anyway, I'm going to add that to my database too. So we've got this big database built up. And what you can do is spend maybe 30 minutes to an hour each day. Or if you enjoy doing it, build this up as big as you want. Because the more ideas you have, the better you're going to be, and the more test designs you can get done up, right? So I'm not going to spend all day, like it's already been an hour. So I got to get to the last part. I haven't even got to like all of this, but I've given you enough to chew on here. This little search alone will keep you busy, as you've seen. Combining this search with the ads library will keep you super busy. Then you go to Pinterest, and Pinterest will typically lead to either a Shopify store like this, or it will lead to Etsy. And on Etsy too, I just got to show Etsy before we go to Fiverr. You're going to get a ton of stuff, like so much stuff. So if you go here and you go fiance, just type in fiance, see what comes up. Very broad, but then we can niche down a little bit. So we can go fiance necklace. Oh, did you see the suggestion came up as Christmas card? That's a good thing, because you could get a lot of that. I was a little late to be your first, but I'm prepared to do anything to be your everything. Can't wait to marry the love of my life. Love, your husband. 148 reviews. Ooh. So anytime you see that, go down and look at what the reviews are on. Yeah, the reviews are not necessarily on this necklace. It's kind of deceiving when they do that. But you can see a lot of the stuff that we're doing is in here. Oh, there's more. Similar to recently viewed. There's one. That's cool. Another God one. Time one. So between your Google search, your Facebook spying, basically, and then Pinterest and Etsy, and you can go to Amazon and you go to eBay and the Gearbubble top sellers, you're gonna get like just a ton of this stuff that you can do. And I didn't even show you the old standby, which is this. So fiance quotes. This is where we don't necessarily have a necklace, but we're going to we can still make a necklace out of this stuff. So if you find a quote in here, you can just do a screenshot and you can put that in there too. I am yours, no refund. Do what you did in the meeting. We should hold me in. Soulmate. You are my soulmate, my love, my peace, my life. You are my soft place to fall, my guiding light, my best friend. In you I see our happy ever after. What a love I've found with you, my love, peace, my life. Okay, so I'm going to show you something. This is not a necklace, but oops, I'll put a mouse over in a second. A little variation here. Stuff like this, like love quotes. Let's leave this over here. Oh, I spelled it wrong, but it doesn't matter. Then I can go back to my sheet and I can say, okay, that is not necessarily a necklace, but it is pretty cool. So let's go insert. Soul mat. Oops, spelled it wrong. So here's what I can do. 01. To my fiance, you are my soulmate. My love, my peace, my life. See how I cut a piece out? In you, I see our happy ever after. Our happy ever after. You are my okay, hang on. In you, I see our happy ever after. There, I'm gonna cut it off there. So what I did is I took a quote that I found and I kind of chopped it up, but I can now get that done up onto a necklace. Pending. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to copy this. I'm going to show you the last part here. So you're going to want to you're going to need to test. And in order to test, we need some design. So I can take that design and I can put it into a necklace. So watch what I do here. So I'm going to go to a trusty old Fiverr, and then I'm going to close off the webinar because otherwise I could literally be on here all day because this is what I do all day. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to put in, I'm going to do a Gearbubble necklace. So let's go Gearbubble. Let's see what comes up. I will do a gorgeous, excellent, and eye-catching ShineOn jewelry designs. Well, that's not Gearbubble. That's ShineOn. I will make unique necklaces or designs for Gearbubble or ShineOn. 66, 4.9, 5 and 9 reviews, 5 and 367. Oh, that's an amazing t-shirt. Okay, that's not what I want. Let's try. Ooh, that's neat. If any of these catch your eyes, just kind of, look at them. So 5 stars, 4 reviews. That's mean they're a new designer. So they might not be very busy. But it doesn't mean they suck, it just means that they're new, that's all. Modern, profitable. Or we could even go like this. Instead of Gearbubble, just put in necklace. Unique designs. POD designer. It's 5 and 12. Some of those look cool. You don't have to be too picky here either, because you're basically going to feed a design to a couple designers, and then the one that you like is the one that you'll go back to for more. Ooh, that's nice. See, that one caught my eye, right? So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to see it's 20 bucks for one, 54, 75 Canadian for 3. And 5 is like 88, so that's typical. So this is 1 day, 1 revision. So you know what? I've never used this designer, but I'm going to give them a try. Not crazy about those ones, but I'm gonna feed this person some. Do I want to go with this one? I do have my old standby here. I actually have 3 on here now. But this is coming up first. Why is this coming up first? This one's catching my eye too. Scan through. Ooh, that's nice. That's nice and simple too. That would probably sell. Okay. Well, what's this? 13? Yeah, well, still only 13 bucks. 3 days. Damn. For one design. Okay. Well, whatever. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to order the source file. You don't need it yet. Usually with most designers, if the thing sells, go back and get the source file and you can switch out the text and put a different quote on it. So even though you're paying for a design, you can basically use this stuff over and over and over. So you pay a pro to do it, and then you can switch out the text later with Photoshop very easily. Photoshop's easy to do. So here we go. Design requirement. Hello. I would like a, to get rid of that, Gearbubble heart-shaped gold necklace done up. I have attached a design that I like that you can use as inspiration. Doesn't have to match the design exactly. And then, can you put this quote on it, please? Just roll form. Make sure you spelled it right. To my fiance, you are my soulmate, my love, my peace, my life, my best friend. In you, I see our happy ever after. I love you beyond words. Okay, and then attach a file. So I'm not going to attach soulmate, but I like this design, right? So I'm not going to steal the dude's design. I'm just going to give it to the designer as inspiration for my new necklace, which is to my fiance, completely different wording. And I even said, I've attached a design that I like, that you can use as inspiration. Doesn't have to match the design exactly. In fact, please do not copy the design exactly. Put your own spin on it. Cool, cool. And then I always do this. If this one sells, I will be coming back for a lot more business in the very near future. Thanks. So I just talked to them like you're talking to your friend, right? So I just said, hey, here's what I want. Here's the inspiration. I've attached it. Here's a quote. And whenever there's a comma or a space or a period or whatever, I just tend to put in the dash. Just because, I don't know, over the years, that's what I found works best. So try and check your spelling, make sure that's right. And then click this. The cell information is accurate and complete. Any change will require the approval. May be subject to additional costs. Start order. It's that easy. So it's now in the works. So I've included a file. Oh, I don't need the source file. And then under here, under orders, you'll see this order, and it'll come to this page. And then they will actually, you'll get an email when it's ready, and then you'll be able to come in here. You can click on it, and then you can do any revisions that you want, which is very cool too. So your homework now, you've got a bunch of homework. Number one, I want you to go here and figure out your goal. Number two, I want you to create a nice, beautiful spreadsheet. This is called your database, your research database, research spreadsheet for Valentine's Day 2020. And I want you to put the image, the date, the niche, quote, status. So now I'm going to go to my status. I'm going to put ordered design from Fiverr. So, and these other ones, I don't have a design ordered yet, but I can go back and I can order designs because you need 5 designs. So I suggest you start with fiance, 5 fiance designs. I suggest you start getting them ready for Gearbubble because I think I'm going to show Gearbubble because I've already showed Teespring, I've already showed ShineOn in the past challenges. I'm going to show Gearbubble for this, but you can certainly use any platform you want. I'm just going to show you, give you guys all the options. Okay, I do still love Gearbubble, and I've made a lot of money in the Christmas season, and I'm going to make a lot of money with them in the Valentine's Day season, and I continually made a lot of money with them. I'm approaching $1 million sold with them. So I know them well, know their systems, know the owner. I've done courses with him. I like him. He's a good guy. I like the owner of ShineOn too. He's a good guy. So that's what I'm going to suggest is Gearbubble for this. And other reason being, they have a lot of stuff attached that's all ready to go, like upsells. So we can slap this design that we get onto a mug and use it as an upsell or a pillowcase or whatever we want to do. So I'll teach you all that. But right now, what we need is basically we need 5 designs. So we're going to test in batches of 5, and the test phase comes next week on the next webinar, where I'm going to take the design that I get here, I'm going to launch it on Gearbubble, I'm going to launch the upsell, I'm going to attach them, I'm going to get the pixel going, I'm going to set up the Facebook ad campaign to test this thing, I'm going to explain everything I do to test, and then you are going to go back and you're going to rinse and repeat for your 5 designs. Okay? Hope that makes sense. If you have any questions, please let me know. I do, like I said, I love this ability to put images in here now. You should see my other spreadsheet. It is massive. There's hundreds of these. So the more you get into a niche, like my bread and butter niche is to my daughter, love dad. I have a to my daughter, love dad spreadsheet that I will never share with anybody because there's too much value on it. But this is what I did. And I just started cranking out, you know, researching images, researching designs, looking at posts on Facebook, seeing what's working, seeing what's not, going back through my old campaigns. I've even got old bestsellers of mine that I just get redone into new designs and I just keep selling them. So that's the other thing. When you find a quote that works, so say this quote that I put together, I kind of hacked from this little image. Say this quote works. So you're my soulmate, my love, my peace, my life, my best friend. In you I see are happy ever after, I love you. If this quote works on this particular necklace, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to take the same freaking quote and I'm going to get 5 of them done up, all different designs, and I'm going to sell them. So scaling is not just a matter of, okay, I have an ad, and now I'm going to go from $100 a day to $200 a day. Scaling is also take what's working and expand. There's nothing wrong with that. And a lot of people don't do that. They get a bestseller and they're like, oh, this is awesome. I'm just going to ride this out. And they'll ride it for like a month or two, but they'll never actually go and make more designs out of the exact same quote, which blows my mind. Because you did the hard part. You found the quote that works. So now just dump it into multiple other designs and you'll kick butt. And then when you get something working on Gearbubble, man, take it to ShineOn. Now you run on Gearbubble and ShineOn with one, and then you expand that to 5. Now you're really kicking butt. So, in summary, you have homework to do. The people who take action are going to make this work. The people who do one, your odds of that one working are pretty slim, to be honest. You're going to launch in batches of 5. The way the numbers work are, you launch 10 test designs, okay? Based on what we talked about today. Of those 10, 3 of them, 3 or 4, will get sales. Of those 3 or 4 that get sales, 1 is going to be a definite winner. The other 2 or 3 are basically going to be like possible winners, like they might get 1 sale. The real winners are the ones that get like 3 or more sales on your test campaigns. Anything below that is a possible winner, but it might not be scalable. So it could be just be you got like a lucky sale. When you get multiple sales in your tests, that's the one you want to go after. So if you just launch one and it doesn't work, and you go, okay, I'm done, throw in the towel, well, that's not how this business works. You got to really test and test and test to find that winner. When you do find the winner, it will pay for all that testing you did, all those designs you ordered, all that time you spent, and more. Believe me, you can scale these things so high. And really, when it comes to scaling, the only limit is the gray matter between your ears. That's the only thing that's going to stop you. Because you'll be like, ooh, I'm at $100 a day. It's working. Oh, what if I go to 500 a day? Oh, that's too much. I can't do that. Because your brain will stop you. When really, you should punch your brain in the brain and say, no, let's go to 1,000 a day. My biggest regret from the Christmas buying season that would just pass is I didn't spend like 3 to 5 times more per day. But my brain stopped me because I was at like over 3,000 Canadian. Some days I was spending like 5,000 Canadian per day on my ads. And I remember I showed my wife one day what I spent and she was like, you idiot, why did you do that? And I was like, okay, hang on. Now look at my revenue. She's like, wow, good job. Because it's all perception, right? If people see something and they're not used to seeing those numbers, it's very difficult to wrap your head around it. So the way that you get through that is you surround yourself with people that are spending more than you. And that's what I did for the Christmas season. I hooked up with a buddy of mine, an old student, who's actually doing way bigger numbers than I am. And the reason he's doing it is because he's spending more money. But he opened my eyes to say like, hey, spend more money, dummy, and you'll make more money. And I'm like, oh yeah, good idea. Let's do that. And I've been in this business a long time. And my biggest weakness is when something's working, I don't dump enough money into it. And now I'm getting over that, and I'm gonna blow away even the top seller page on Gearbubble. I'll blow that away. Okay? And I want you to get there too. And you're gonna get there with me. So if your number system says, well, $10 a day is a lot, that's okay. Right? When you start, maybe it is. Later on, $10 a day will be like, I don't know, 3 minutes of spending for your entire day. So you just, as you get success and as you're making money, you want to spend more and more and more, but even then, it's hard. It's always hard. So that mental side kicks in and your brain tries to stop you. And I'm not going to let your brain stop you when you have something that's working. But getting to that working thing is damn hard. So don't think that it's a cakewalk. And don't think that the first thing you launch is going to work. The odds are it's not. It's going to take a bunch of tries to get it right, even with my guidance. So that's okay. You will get there as long as you keep trying. Don't quit. All right? Good stuff. I didn't leave it there. I went way over time. My voice is starting to go. So this replay, if you're watching it, is in the forums in that sticky thread. And you can go through and ask questions in the forums. That's why you're in there. And go get your homework done. And we will see you in the next video. which is basically next week. Unless you're watching the replay, then you can watch it right now. All right, have a good day, and we will talk soon. Thanks everybody for coming on. Hey everybody, welcome aboard. It is time for the second live training session for Valentine's Day. So we are going to actually launch a test campaign to see if it works. And then what you're going to do is you're going to go and repeat this 5 times. So you can spread it out over 5 days, or you can do them all in one day if you're feeling really ambitious. But as far as timelines go, we're going to do this, and then the next webinar, live training session, we're actually going to show you how to scale things once you find a winner. So first we got to define like what a winner is. So when we launch a test design, we need to find out if it gets a sale or not. So a lot of people say, you know, we got a lot of, like they might say to me, it got a lot of likes, it got a lot of comments, got a lot of shares, but didn't get a sale. Then to me, that's not a winner. Okay, so a winner means you got a sale. And we're going to do a very specific process for this. So I'm going to show you it all from, you know, start to finish here. But, oh, first, I better check. Can you guys hear me? And can you see my screen? So just give me a 1 in the chat box if you're good to go. Okay, good. Awesome. I should probably not ramble on before I check that. So we're going to launch on Gearbubble to start. And if you want to do this on your own store, that's fine. If you want to do it on other platforms, that's fine too. No problem there. But I'm going to show you Gearbubble because I like them. So let's go here. Now, this is not my main Gearbubble account. This is a dummy account that I use for training because you can see that the all-time sales are super low compared to my main account, which is approaching $1 million sold. So that's why I'm using it, because I'm getting a lot of people that are spying on a lot of my stuff. So I'm also using the page here that I've never used before. I just kind of found an old one. So I'm using this, I'm using a dummy account, and I'm using an account here that I don't, well, I was using, but I'm going to actually create another engaged account. So that's what we've got. So first things first, what's the design? Well, it is right here. And I'm going to start by uploading this to Gearbubble. So here it is. I posted on the forums too. So it says, to my fiance, you are my soulmate, my love, my peace, my life, my best friend. In you, I see our happy ever after. I love you beyond words. Now, I got some feedback. I posted in the forums to see what people thought of this. And, you know, honestly, I think my first reaction was, damn, that's kind of ugly. But that's a good thing. That's why I posted it, because I wanted to show you guys that a lot of the times ugly will work. And ugly will work very, very good. So you don't have to be like nitpicky about, well, this space between the, you know, the Y and the S is too small, and I don't like this background on this. And I just now, I'm very not, I don't know what the opposite of picky is, but when the designer gives me something, if it looks kind of decent, I'll go for it. Because you could spend a lot of time trying to nitpick and try to change little tiny things that suit your personal taste, but your personal taste is irrelevant in this business. So that's why I kind of posted in the forums to show you guys that, you know what, this is not my favorite design, but my favorite designs are my lowest sellers. My ones that I'm like, oh, that is butt ugly, they're my best sellers. So it is the opposite in this world, it seems. What our personal taste is irrelevant. So don't put your personal taste onto your designs. The designers, the good designers, they're good at it, and they've made a lot of these, and they have an eye for it. So just because we might not like it, doesn't matter, to be honest. So let's go here. First step, we have to get this launched. So go to your Gearbubble account, or ShineOn, or Teespring, or whatever you're on, or your Shopify store, and launch a campaign. So I'm going to show you Gearbubble. So let's go here, launch, traditional, and then we go necklace, next step, and then we're going to go here. And we're going to go with a gold. But I'm also going to do something. I'm going to add another style. I'm going to add silver as an option, just because why not? I'm going to price that $39.95. So I have bumped my price up quite a bit compared to others. Now, in my other account, I actually get $35 per sale because I have a volume kind of bump on payouts for being a big seller, but in this account I don't. So this account will look like yours. So you make $32 profit per sale. That should be like revenue per sale instead of profit, but anyway. Next step, oops, is to upload. So upload. And then what I do is you can just drag this over and release. Then you're right in there. And then you just drag it out. Now, sometimes the designer won't have this centered correctly. So when you go to expand it, it gets a little off. And if you have any little gaps here, you want to close those. So what you do is click on Snap to Center to turn it off. And then you can drag it around a bit. And what you want to do is just basically position it so you're not seeing the background on the necklace. It's a little bit of tinkering to get it right. And just drag it down a little bit. There. Oops. Nope. Just a little. There, that's good. It doesn't have to be like, don't worry if there's like a little tiny speck showing, because when these are printed, they're going to be printed right in there anyway. And actually, this does look kind of good on the gold, so I don't mind that. So that's it, next step. And now up here, we're going to put the campaign title. So it's going to be wow, can't type today. And actually I'm on day 4 of my keto diet, so I'm kind of in the keto flu stage. I'm taking my electrolytes and the potassium and magnesium and sodium, but man, I don't like day 3 and day 4 stink on keto. So you are my soul. Now, we don't have to put the whole title in here because it won't fit. So you can just take a chunk of what you say. So to my fiance, you're my soulmate necklace. And then down here, you can go like this. Would your fiance love this? So you want to talk to them. So ask a question in the first part, and then you answer it. You say, yes, they would. And then go ahead and get them one now. It's the perfect gift for Valentine's Day, or just because. I put, she will love this. Oops. She will love this and love that you thought of her. Oops. Such a sweet way. So there we go. And that's about it. So you're just putting a paragraph in there, telling them like, yeah, she'd love it, go ahead and do it. And then categories, we can put these in. So you can put family, you can put fiance, necklace, or future wife too. Or fiance, Valentine's Day, stuff like that. Now, here we're going to set this stand at 10 o'clock. Then down here, we're going to go on the silver, we'll just do the same price. So usually I'll do silver at lower and gold at higher, but I did gold first, so I'm going to show gold, so I'll just go like that. And now we have to put in the URL kind of slug. So we can do something like my soul mate. Oh, God. What about this? Love my soul. There, okay. So you got to kind of tinker with that till you find one that's available on that domain. And then we just click here, terms of service, and then we do the big old launch. and then it'll launch it. And now what I'm going to do, and the reason I like Gearbubble is because of the upsells. So I can attach an upsell to this. So I'm going to go back to my account, and then I'm going to go here and launch traditional right away. And you can do a coffee mug or a pillowcase or a bracelet or a wine glass or a tumbler, travel, whatever, even a blanket you could do if you want. Typically I do a coffee mug because they sell really easy. And then I'll just upload the design again. I'll just take the exact same one. I'll put it on a coffee mug. And just pull it out. And then here, I like to do, well, you could add another style. So you can give them the choice of 11 or 15, up to you. Or you can keep it simple and just go with 11. 11 is pretty small for a coffee mug. 15 is a good size, like a normal size. You could do black if you wanted, but it looks better on white. So I'm gonna leave it at $19.95 for the 11. I'm gonna charge more for the 15. This personalized stuff, you don't need this, but this is where you can do personalized mugs if you wanted. So I always click on duplicate image on back. That way it's on both sides. And that does look pretty good on a coffee mug. I'm gonna go next step. And in here, I'm just gonna do kind of the same thing. To my fiance. You are my soulmate. I'll go mug. Now in here, I'm not going to put anything, only because I'm not running ads to this. This is only an upsell. So the people have already read my description and all that stuff. And I'm not going to put categories or anything. Well, I am going to set the time, but you don't need to, because I'm not running any paid ads to this. If I were running paid ads, then I would come back in and set the description, category, and tags, but I don't need to. So what do we say? My mug. I'll just put 2 G's, because even this URL doesn't really matter. Now down here, you can see the 15-ounce mug at $19.95 produces $13 per sale. So let's bump that to get the same amount. So let's make it $21.95. You might say, well, nobody's going to pay 20 bucks or 22 bucks for a coffee mug. No, but we're going to give them a little discount. So let's click on I agree to terms of service, and then launch. Launching. Takes a second. All right, so now we're going to go into my account. And what we want to do now is kind of set our pixel. So just go back to this one and go to settings. And this is where you go to tracking pixels, and then you click this little box over here, and you've got this spot. So now we go to our ad account, and we go to, well, I can go into an old one. Let's just go to any ad here. See what we got. Here's one. So I'll just edit this. And I can just grab this pixel. So for this ad account, the pixel ID is right there. You can also get pixels from right in here. Ads Manager, and then all tools, and then pixels. And if I open that in a new tab, that's the wrong one. So let's go to engaged. Put in your ad account, and then you'll come to this page, which will show you your pixel. So you can see this ID right here is what I want. So now I go back to Gearbubble and I put that in, paste, then click update, and then you'll see it's updated successfully. So now this product, which I can open in a new tab, has the pixel, and I go to pixel helper, that I want, the 401-327, blah, blah, blah. So that just ties it to my ad account. So when I'm tracking people who viewed the page, people who added to cart, people who purchased, I can see it in my ad account. So I can see which campaigns got sales, which ad sets got sales, and all that good stuff. So now see this drop down? If somebody wants the other one, they can go here, and it switches to the silver. So it just defaults to the gold though. So that's a neat little trick. Now, we have our pixel updated. So now we want to attach the coffee mug. So after somebody buys this, excuse me, we want to offer them an upsell. And the upsell in this case is the coffee mug. So I'll click upsell, and then I'll go yes, and then I'll select the upsell, select this product, and then I'll scroll down. I'm going to turn discount on. Now, if I'm going real quick, don't worry, because you can watch this in the replay. And then I'm going to offer 20% off, because it doesn't cost me anything for this upsell. Then click update. Now, when you click update, it doesn't automatically scroll to the top. Just make sure that updated successfully is on. Then you can go back to my account, and you can look at, well, these two. But when they buy this now, it's attached to this one. So they'll be offered this mug after they buy from Gearbubble, like automatically. And not everybody will take the upsell. It's probably like 1 out of 10, 1 out of 12, probably, I don't know, 10% maybe a little bit lower, but actually take it, but it's free money. So we might as well do it. Nothing wrong with that. Okay, so we are motoring along here. We've got our product up. We've got our pixel set. Now, what we need to do is we need to get this image ready for our ads. So the easiest way is just go like this, right click, save image as, and then we'll go to, I gotta find a spot for it here. Oh, let's go over here. So we'll go, I just moved it to the other screen. I have it in a folder somewhere. There. Okay, so I've got it in there, and then I'm just going to open up Photoshop real quick, and that's the image, right? I already had it uploaded or saved. So I want to turn this image into a 1080 by 1080 pixel image so that I can use it in my ads. So to do so, we open up the image in here. Then you click on the rectangular marquee tool, and you can set it under style. You can go fixed ratio 1:1. I'll give you a square. Okay, so then you just click and drag. And the cool part about this new Photoshop is they give you the center stuff. Like it had that little pink line that showed up. I just go image, crop. So now I've got an image that is square, but it's not 1080 by 1080. So I have to resize it. So I go image, image size, and you can see it's 1256 by 1256. So I'm going to go 1080 by 1080. Now the image is 1080 by 1080. So this is image number 1. So I'm going to go File, Export, Quick Export as PNG. Oh, maybe I'm not. Oh man. Let's go File, Save As. This works. Okay, this works. I don't know why Quick Export didn't work. But anyway, so we'll go 1080. Black background. Save. And we'll do whatever that was. Usually I can do a quick export and it's a little bit easier, but apparently it will not let me do that right now, so be it. So we just adjust. Not a problem. All right, so I've got one image, but I'm actually going to use dynamic creatives in this. So I need 2 images. So all I want to do is change out the background. So to do so, I click on this magic wand tool, and then I can go, oops, okay. And then I can just click here, and then hold down the shift key, and click here, and then click these little black spots. All I'm doing is making this transparent. Oops. Right there. Okay. Now I hit delete, and now I've made it transparent. Very cool, right? So now I want to put a background behind it. So over on the bottom right here, I go like this. That's a group. So I want to create a new layer, and I drag that layer below the other one over here, And then I can actually go down here and I can go create new fill or adjustment layer. And I can do a solid color, a gradient, or a pattern, or whatever I wanted. So if I want to do a solid color, I can just pick like I can even use a dropper to pick out of here a color right off the necklace if I want. There, that's cool. It's like a dark red. So now I can go File. Let's see if I can export it this time. I don't have third party. That's weird. So errors happen. We just got to roll with them. So just do File, Save As, and then we'll save it as. Well, I might as well save it as a mockup for a PSD file, and then we'll save it as a PNG file. That's what we really want. So hit the drop down and go to PNG, this one. And then we'll save this as 1080 red background and .png. And we'll do that. Boom. Just check our file size. It should be the same. Yep, 1080 by 1080. Now the resolution is only 72 pixels, but I've never found it matters. People are, like 80% of these people are looking at this on their phone anyway. So we've got now 2 images that are ready to go for our ads. So we've got this launched, we've got the images ready, the pixel placed. Now it's time to actually create the test ad campaign so that we can see if we're getting sales. And what I'm going to recommend to you guys is the reinforcement method for testing too, because it's been working very, very, very well for me. Typically I set it at $100 per campaign per day, and I'll launch 10 of them per day. Now, don't let that freak you out. That's like $1,000 per day. It's not going to spend that because we do have rules on it in place that will stop it from spending. So don't worry. You could even adjust the daily budget down if you didn't want to spend that much. But the whole point of the reinforcement method is we're just putting, it's basically one ad set and one dynamic creative into a CBO campaign or a campaign budget optimization. So we're kind of, it's not hacking the system, but it's not doing it like Facebook would prefer us to put all 10 ads into one CBO. I've done that and it hasn't worked as well. So now I just do this reinforcement method with it, which is one CBO campaign with one ad set and basically one dynamic ad inside it. So I'll show you exactly how to set that up. The reason it's called reinforcement for you guys that are new to the forums, we have basically 5 campaigns that will start in the morning, and then 5 will start in the afternoon. So the reinforcements are the afternoon campaigns. Typically campaigns, a lot of them will die out in the morning. They won't make it to the evening traffic because our rules will shut them down if they're not performing. To save us money, right? We don't want to be blowing money when we don't need to. So that's kind of the point. And I'll show you the whole thing, how to set it up here. So let's go into our ad account and let's just create a new campaign. So I've got a couple in there. So I'm going to go with number 4. So let's go create. And then when you go in here, you might be on this guided creation. I don't like this at all. So I always switch to quick creation. Leave this page, that's fine. So it should look something like this, something similar. So we'll just go, we'll call this campaign number 4. And then this is number -01. And this is for Gearbubble. And what we're going to do is a couple combinations with engaged and interest to start, because we can't really go with no interest yet because our pixel doesn't have enough optimization on it. And when I say pixel, I mean like your ad account, your campaigns, your ad sets, your overall history of purchases. Okay, that's kind of what I'm meaning by pixel. The more that we have, the better this will perform. So we can't go with no interest targeting yet. I'll get to that in a second. So let's go with USA only, and let's set our age, and we'll start like basically wide open. So we're gonna go 25 plus men in the USA, and we'll start with this one because we are in Valentine's Day. And then we're going to put this. So this remeth means reinforcement method, and then I put the date on the end. Now I'm going to start 5 at 4 o'clock today. I can't start them in the morning because we're already in the morning, but I can start at 4 o'clock this afternoon. So these ones will be my 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern start. So now I just copy this whole thing. And this little special ad category thing, they got in trouble for, I guess companies were running ads and they were excluding people. So Facebook got in a little bit of trouble for that. So you don't have to worry about that as long as you're not running credit. We're running necklaces, so we don't have to worry at all. Campaign objective, there's a whole bunch in here. We're going to go with conversions. I don't know why they want me to generate leads. But anyway, this is a CBO part. So we're going to turn this on, and it defaults to $100, so we're going to leave it there. You're not going to spend the full 100. I mean, unless it's profitable. If it's profitable, we'll spend as much as we want, as we can, but if it's not, then we're not going to. So then ad set name, I just paste the campaign name and create new ad. Ad name, I paste the campaign name too, and then save to draft. And now it looks like this. Your screen will look kind of, so here's a campaign, this is the ad set, this is the ad. You can collapse this, and to get it back, you just go edit right here. So it pops it back open. So we're basically, this is all going to be left on default settings at the campaign level. And now in here, into the ad set, we can start with our targeting, right? So this one says website pixel, engaged pixels, and then there's my pixel ID. But I don't want the conversion event to be add to cart. So I'll X out of that. I want it to be purchase. Okay, if yours is red, it means you don't have any sales yet. And it'll give you a big warning box down here. You can just ignore that. Go for purchase anyway, right off the bat. Then we're gonna do dynamic creative and continue. And then we're gonna scroll down here and we're gonna set the start date and time. So in this case, we're gonna go 4 o'clock p.m. So this is Toronto time, that's Eastern. And then we keep scrolling down and we're gonna go United States. Yours might default if you're in the US. Mine defaults to Canada. So there we go. And I'm gonna run it wide open, but I'm gonna do 21 plus men in the US. So you can see that's like 100 million people so far, which is a ton. So I'm gonna move some over here. So we're gonna cut that down a little bit because we only want the engaged people. So now I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go type in Valentine's Day, which is an interest, which is awesome. So we're still at 7.5 million men, 21 plus in the US, match that interest. So we need to narrow that down because we only want the engaged ones. We don't want the married guys because this would make no sense for them. We just want the engaged. So we're gonna narrow, and then we're gonna go engaged. And under relationship status is to engaged. So we just combined them. So that dropped down to 290,000 men, 21 plus in the US, matched Valentine's Day and are engaged. Pretty cool, right? That is our target. That's our target market. So now we're gonna go and create the ad. So I just click over here on the middle column. I'm into the ad name, says that. I'm going to select my page, which is gift. There, gifts for family. So gifts for family is right there. And under Instagram account, I'm going to use selected page because your ads are going to be shown on Instagram too. We can turn on previews over here if we want. Now I need to create the ad. So first I need images. So I'm going to use 2 images and Facebook's going to rotate between them to figure out which one is best. And then we can run a report later and see actually which one got the best sales. So let's go select images. And here I'm going to upload from Let me pull this over here. Find it again. Probably shouldn't have buried it. Okay. So I'll select them both. So I'll hit Control and then select the other one and click Open. It's going to upload those two there. So, and then down here it says Selected Images 2 of 10. I hit Continue. And now my images are ready. So now I have to put in primary text. So let's go and do that. I like to use those emojis. So let's go here and let's pick two. Here's one, a heart with a ribbon on it. So I went to pillyapp.com/Facebook-symbols. Okay, it's just a site I found works really well for this. So now I can put this in, and I can say perfect. I'm asking a question. And then down here, I'm going to say, she will love this and love you. No, I already said that. I can say it again. Get her one now and watch the smile grow on her face. I don't know. That's kind of weird. Get her one now and keto flu is giving me brain fog. Get her one now and make her day. That's it. So they can actually, some guys will put like what it says on there too. You can do that, but I'm just going to leave it at short and sweet. And then what I'll do is I'll copy this because I'm going to do 2 images, 2 primary texts. So I'll add another option and click paste. Then I'm going to go back here. I'm going to use the other, this heart, eyes thing, smiley face, whatever it is. I'll go here. There. So that's my 2 primary texts. And then under headline, I'm going to put click here for details. And then I'm going to add another option. I'll show you what it looks like in a second. Click here for pricing. Then description. This is the description that they're getting rid of. So it doesn't matter all that much, but I always say get her one now. Then add another option. She will love this. And now I need the URL, and then it'll start filling in my previews. So back here, go back to your Gearbubble and grab the URL, and then go back to your ads manager and paste it. And now it'll start showing me the previews. Or it should. There. So it's going to look kind of like that. And that got rid of that error message up there too. So that's a good looking ad. And now under buttons, we have learn more, and we can add another one too. I like to add in the shop now as well. Just because they are shopping, so might as well do shop now. And so this one is now ready to go for 4 o'clock, but I'm going to do basically 5 of them. So I'm going to give this whole design 10 campaigns, 10 reinforcement campaigns. 5 are going to start in the afternoon and 5 are going to start in the morning. So now we just got to create the other ones. And it's easier now. So I go quick dupe, and I'm just going to change out some numbers. And in here, I'll go with something like love. So I'm just editing the title of the campaign, and then I'll select the whole title. I'll go into the ad set, and I'll double click, paste, and I'll go into the ad, double click, paste, and I'll go back to the ad set, and all I'm going to do is change Valentine's Day to love. I'm going to remove Valentine's Day. Now watch, this number goes up dramatically. So this is saying that 1.4 million men in the US match love as an interest, and they are engaged. So that's a little bit bigger number. See how fast that was though? And you can see on the schedule, it pulled it over from the other one, so it is set to go at 4. I'll go back here. Quick dupe. I'm going to do number 3. And then this one, I'll try. And if you're not sure what to put in here, then just go to the ad set level first and scroll down. And you can go to suggestions. And you can see that there's a lot of ones that'll pop up in here. And even something like this works very well. Oh, sorry, not girlfriend. No, I was thinking of the girlfriend niche. Romance and love is a good one. And you can look at the number, that's 140,000. That's fine, because we're not really scaling this yet. Now let's go back here and change this title to number 3. Remove the word love, replace it with romance and love. And then copy that whole thing, go to the campaign name, paste, and then go to the ad name. So see, under the ad, I don't have to do anything because it's doing a brand new one. And the old way with like the slow and steady method is we'd be using post IDs in here, but we're not with this one. I'm finding that these dynamic creatives are outperforming any other like post ID or social share proof or whatever else that people used to do. That method is getting old. It's not working as well, so I don't do it as much. And then one of my favorites here is this one, hunting. I used it in virtually every family one. So hunting and engaged 21 plus men. So I'll go here and I'll select the ad set name and paste. Then the ad, paste. And then I have to remember to change that to hunting from romance. So let's literally click here. I'll type in hunting. And then get rid of romance. Now I gotta do one more, and this one's gonna start today at 4. Scroll back up. And this is where, I mean, you can get as creative as you want. There's so many different options in here. If it's like it's football season, right? And the Super Bowl is coming up very soon. So you might want to put Super Bowl as an option in here. So check this out. You can check it. I haven't really done it, but if you go Super Bowl, and then let's remove hunting. Look at that, 510,000 males, 21 plus in the US, are interested in the Super Bowl, and they're engaged. Pretty cool, right? So why not target these guys with a nice ad? They're in a good mood. They're loving football life. You know, Super Bowl's coming up, so why not? You can do that with like movies coming out, movie stars, pets, really anything. As long as you have and engaged on there, you're targeting the right people. So that your first interest in your targeting is just kind of breaking it down within the engaged niche. So we could just do engaged period, but I like to break it down with this when we're starting to try and find little pockets or little interests that are working well. And then if Super Bowl works, then I might want to dive down a little bit further and say, okay, now who are the players that are left in the Super Bowl that are like the big stars on the team? Because I'll do like their name and engaged, or I'll do like the team name and engaged. So we can bid on that too. So that is pretty cool and works very well, and it allows you to really expand your offering like quite a bit. So I'm just going to set up the first 5 here for those, but now you're going to have to continue, and you're going to have to do 5 more that are scheduled to start tomorrow. So for me, that'd be the 17th at I do it at like either midnight or 3 o'clock a.m. or Eastern. I do it. Well, 3 o'clock a.m. Eastern is typically when I'll set it. So you'll schedule those to start 5 more ad sets with different interests to go tomorrow at 3 o'clock a.m. And then those 10 campaigns that you've got set up now with our reinforcement method, those are your tests. So I should probably upload this. So you hit review and publish, and then publish. Under filters, we can go like this. Active or pending. You'll see it'll pop in here. So it'll take a second to load. If you get any error messages when you load, just you can refresh your screen and then hit refresh and review and publish again, and it should go up fine for you. So there at 15 went up. Just taking a second, it seems. So don't need to, yeah, so they're scheduled. So now if we go filters, pending. So these are pending delivery, and they will start at 4 o'clock today. So you can look at that and you say, wow, that's $500, Will. I don't want to spend $500. You do if you're pulling in 700, because that's 200 profit. But like I said, these aren't going to spend that full amount, because the last part that you have to do, you have to do, is the rules. I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So notice every one of these campaigns has the word remeth in all caps. Okay, there's a reason I did that. And you're going to see in a second. I'm going to go here, and then you're going to go to automated rules. So I'll just open that in a new tab. Let's go into girlfriend one. I don't have anything in there. So let's go engaged. So go into your ad account, and here's the rules. So I have my rules set up for this, but I'm actually going to delete them all because I want to show you from scratch, and I want to show you what your screen is going to look like. Actually forgot I had these rules in here. There. So yours will look something like this. So what you want to do is go up here and click this green button, create rule, and then apply rule 2. We want to do all active campaigns, and we're going to turn off the campaign, and here's our conditions. So the first condition is under settings and campaign name. And what are we going to put here? Remeth. So all campaigns that have this in the title, so even future campaigns that you haven't even made yet, if you have the word remeth in it, this rule is going to apply. So the beauty of that is you do not have to keep repeating the making of the rules, which is we used to have to do until I figured this out like a while ago. Now this will apply to all your future tests. So this automated rule setup is a one-time thing. Okay, so that's very cool. So the first rule is going to say if it spends $15 without an add to cart. So we'll go down here, scroll down to website conversions, Facebook pixel, and then we'll go adds to cart is smaller than 1. So this is saying if it has remeth in the campaign name, it spent $15, but it doesn't even have an add to cart, then we're going to turn it off. Okay, so turn off the campaign. So it's going to run every 30 minutes automatically in your Facebook account. So here under the rule name, we'll put remeth. Rule number 1, turn off campaign if spent is greater than 15 and add to cart is less than 1 lifetime. And I'm just going to copy this so I don't have to type as much out again. Great. So that's cool. So there, you spent $15 and it didn't get an add to cart, it shut down. So you're not spending $100 on that campaign because it shut off at 15. So instead of $500, now you're at $30, $60, $75 in testing maximum for those 5 ad sets or those 5 campaigns. Right? Pretty cool. Now, if you want to get more aggressive, you can turn that down to $10, but I think 15 is a sweet spot with these Gearbubble ones at $39.95. Right? Now we need another rule. So we're going to go all active campaigns. And again, we want to trigger this if it has the word remeth in the campaign name. So this one is for, it got an add to cart, spent $15, and it got at least one add to cart. So it's going to keep running. So now we need to say, okay, well, we're not going to let you run all the way up to 100 unless you get a sale now. So in this case, we go if spent is greater than, now we make like $32 per sale on that, right? According to that other screen. So we could set it at our break even. So if it spends $32 and website conversion, Facebook pixel purchases is smaller than 1, then we're going to shut it off. So what this is saying is turn it off if it has a remeth in the campaign name, spends $32 without a sale. So the maximum we're going to spend is $32. You could even round that down to 30 and round it down. So we'll go 15 and 30, make it a little bit easier. And then we're just going to put the rule name down here. So we're just going to edit this to if spent is greater than 30. Purchase less than 1 lifetime. There you go. I'm just going to copy this whole thing. Great. Cool. So there's the 2 main rules, but we have a 3rd rule. So now, what if it actually gets a sale? So then we don't want to let it run, ragged and let it go spend all our money and, have a sale cost $100. So we have to put some kind of controls in as a safety measure to make sure that it's not going to a cost per purchase of like $100. So to do that, the easiest way is to create a rule. Again, all active campaigns. And it's going to trigger if the campaign name contains remeth. And in this case, we'll do spent. Now we're going to go with 2 times our break even. So we'll go with $60. And the purchases down here is greater than 0. And now this is a new one. So cost per website conversion, Facebook pixel, then we'll go to cost per purchase is greater than 30. Now, notice Facebook tried to sneak this in here, this lifetime impressions greater than 8,000. They do that because they want you to spend money. So we have that in place with this spending $60 instead of impressions. So we're gonna get rid of that. Then they give you this big, scary looking warning message. Ignore it. It doesn't matter. Our whole rule is saying, this is based on now it got a sale. So we want to we'll give it another $30 to basically get another sale. But after that, we want to make sure that that cost per purchase is at about $30. So if we're making 32 and our cost per purchase is at 30, we got a $2 profit per sale at least. Okay. So this is just a kind of a little safety one. Then we'll go down here. This is going to run every 30 minutes as well. Just in the background, you won't even have to watch it. So if spent is greater than 60 and purchases greater than 0 and cost per purchase is greater than $30. Then we'll tell them to shut it off. There we go. So those 3 rules are your core rules, and you're going to want to have those set up now on your first campaign. Now, when I go back in, and remember I have to schedule 5 more to start in the morning in this case. So I can go here and I can go edit. I can do a duplicate. I'll call this number 6. And who is in? No, should I do that? We don't know who's in the Super Bowl yet. Yeah, okay. Well, I'll go with an old standby. So I'll go fishing. Now these ones, I'm going to start at 3 o'clock a.m. So let's copy this whole name. Let's go back here. Paste. Scroll down here. Now I got to change this to the next day at 3 AM. And then down here, I'm going to remove Super Bowl and put in fishing. And this will be a big one. So you can see that the potential reach is, oh, actually it's only like, well, almost double the Super Bowl one, but 920,000 people. So this number too, I mean, it's a guess by Facebook, and it's not, don't get too tripped up on that. If the number is a little bit lower, that's fine. Maybe your targeting is a little bit tighter, so nothing wrong with that. Let's go with the ad here. Paste. So basically I've got review and publish. So I've got 5 set up for 4 o'clock and then 1 set up for the next day. And actually I might as well just finish these off because we've got a little bit of time here. So I'll create the other 4 that are going to be scheduled. So again, edit and then do a duplicate and then we'll finish off. Now my point was, all these new ones that I'm creating, they have the word remeth in the campaign name. So the rules will apply to them. I don't have to go back here and do this again. Pretty cool, right? So that just saves a lot of hassle, a lot of time, a lot of energy. And here I'll go with some that I used. Gratitude. Another one. You can even do like TV shows if you want. Gratitude will pull in a bunch though. Oh, it's actually less. Interesting. Oh, I don't know why I did that. Okay, I'll grab this ad set name. Paste. Alright, so that one is ready, and I haven't uploaded it yet, but when I upload it, the rules will be automatically applied. So now I'll go into number 8, and we'll do another one. And this one, we could do let's do skiing. So maybe these guys like skiing and they're engaged. So the other thing too, if they like skiing, they probably have a little bit of money because it is not cheap to go skiing. So they're interested in skiing and they're engaged. Let's see how many. 460,000. So let's just add that to the ad name, paste. Cool. And then we'll go here. We'll go number 9. And this one, we can do, oh, another one of my favorites. Happiness. Like so. So happiness, then engaged. Good combo. Get rid of that. And down here. $940,000. So there is a good chunk of men that are engaged that we, that's why we're going after them, right? And the last one, I'm going to show you, I don't even know the interest on this, so I'm going to go into the ad set first. But this just popped in my head. So I'm just starting my keto diet. I guarantee you there's a lot of guys that are on the keto diet. So let's see if we can find keto diet app. Ketosis. Ketone. Maybe diet. No. Weight loss. No, that's fine. I was hoping just keto was a word. But I guess this would apply. Let's try this. Ketone. You know what? I've never tried this one before. So I'm going to try it. It's 180,000 men. Ketone, odds are that means keto diet. So let's go here. So this will be interesting to see if this one works, because I've never done it. And then let's change the campaign name and the ad name. There. All right, so let's go back here and let's hit review and publish. Make sure it's showing the 4. Publish. All right, so we actually have now to review what we've done is, well, I mean, we came up with the image and the everything in the previous training, but we uploaded it to Gearbubble. Then we created an upsell. Then we went through settings and tracking pixel, and we added the pixel. Then we went to settings and upsell, and we added this as an upsell. Then we went here and we saved this image and we resized it to 1080 by 1080. Then we removed the background and we put in a red one. All right. Then we went to our ad campaign and ad account, and we've set up now 10 10 campaigns. We're using what's called the reinforcement method. We've got 5 campaigns scheduled to start today at 4, and we've got 5 more scheduled to start tomorrow at 3 o'clock a.m. And then what we did is we created our rules that are going to kind of run things for us. So rule number 1, if it spends $15 without an add to cart, Facebook will shut it off. Rule number 2, if it spends $30 without a purchase, Facebook will shut it off. Rule number 3, if it spends $60 because it has at least one purchase, but the cost per purchase is too high, it'll shut it off. Okay, so that's it. That's testing 101. And the main part of testing is right here, these 10 bad boys. So what you'll find is maybe 4 out of 10, maybe 3 out of 10 will get a sale. But if you have one of these out of 10 that gets like 3 sales or more, I'm going to say there's a huge chance you hit on a definite winner. So a possible winner is one that gets like 1 sale out of 10 test campaigns. It just gets like 1. A definite winner gets like 3 or more sales in your test. And this test is just going to run for basically the lifetime of these campaigns. If one of these campaigns gets a sale and it's profitable and it stays profitable, you're going to leave it running. There's no point in shutting it off. So basically your rules are going to shut it down, or it's going to continue to run because it's working and it's profitable. Okay, does that make sense? So now the whole process that we just did is repeated for the next design and the next design and the next design. So you're going to have 5 designs that you're going to test. You're not just going to do 1, you're going to do 5. And that's where I say you can schedule them out to start to test 1 per day, from like Tuesday, test 1, Wednesday, test 1, Thursday, test 1, Friday, test 1, and then Saturday or Sunday, test 1. Out of those 5 that you tested, with all this work you put in, you're probably going to hit on one that's going to be a winner. Okay, a couple of them are going to be duds. They're not going to get any sales. Don't worry about it. That happens. Okay, you can mix up the interests that you're targeting. If I see like my new interest, ketone and engaged, if I'm seeing that works, it could mean that guys that are like on a diet could be a good target for my necklaces. So I can go to other diets, and I can go to like weight loss, and I can go to like working out, and I can start creating more campaigns, more shifted towards what I'm finding, those people like, what they're interested in. Okay. Or if hunting, if that works, then I'm going to go in and I'm going to look at, okay, now what type of hunting, like deer hunting, duck hunting, what hunting are they interested in? So I'm going to do new tests with just those interests. Okay. So in the test phase, we can kind of throw a broad net to see where these people are, hanging out, what they like. And then when we find out what they like, we can dive even deeper and make even more money. Because if we find out, keto guys really are like vacuuming up these necklaces and love them, then we're going to go after more of those in our future tests. So you're always buying data, looking at the data and seeing what works best. As well, notice I went 21 plus for the males. Well, I'm going to come back in after I run these. I'm going to hit this, and I'm going to go breakdown, by delivery. I'm going to do age, because I'm going to want to see what age range actually, who clicked, who added to cart, and who bought. I want to see how old they are. And then I can narrow down my future tests to the best age ranges. Okay, we'll show that when we get to scaling. But right now, you have to test 5. Okay, if you don't test 5, you're not doing it right. Simple as that. So the guys that, a lot of people join the forums on the $1 trial and they watch one webinar and then they quit. Those people are never going to make any money online. Okay, they're just jumping from next thing to next thing to next thing, and they're not sticking with it. They're not following the process. Don't be that person. I put the dollar trial out there to attract a lot of people, but I know a lot of people are going to quit because a lot of people they just can't hack it. And that's fine. It's not built for everybody. But for you, you're here, you're on the second live training. That means you're going to do 5 tests. Okay, you're going to test everything in batches of 5. Each week, you're going to do 5 if you're serious about it. If you want to go slower, you can. But I find 9 times out of 10 when somebody goes slow with something, they quit because they lose patience because they think, okay, well, I'm going to test 1 a week for 5 weeks. You're not going to hang around for 5 weeks. You're going to lose patience and you're not going to do it. If you're going to do something, dive in head first. This is not theory. This is what I do. You're actually seeing my whole test process in this whole webinar. So there's no doubt that it works. It absolutely does work. The only thing that we don't know is the combo of people that Facebook is going to show our ad to, and if those people are going to like our ugly design, right? That's it. So if you guys have any questions, I can certainly take it. You can use ketosis as well is another one for keto instead of, I guess I could sub that out too. It just popped in my head to go with keto or diets even. I could do dieting. Just to show you guys that there's really no limit. If you have a particular brand of car you like maybe you like a Maserati, do Maserati and Engage. You think those guys got money? Yeah, because those are super expensive cars. Or like Lamborghini and Engage. Well, then you might get more fanboys and everything, but stuff like that. Don't limit it. If there's a really expensive sound system or some TV that's super expensive, or a vacation destination that's super exclusive and expensive, like maybe you could put Hawaii and Engage. That's pretty cool. So the point is, there's really no limit on what you can put in there. So I hope that helped everybody. If you do have questions, please post them in the forums and we will answer and support you. And then we will see you on the next one, where I'll show you a couple of scaling strategies that I use in order to really blow these things up and get a lot of sales coming in. All right, but right now we got to find that definite winner first. So your homework, 5 repeats of today's webinar. So 5 designs, you're going to apply 10 reinforcement campaigns. You're going to make sure you have those rules attached, and then you're going to come up with 1 definite winner so that we can scale it. All right, good stuff. I'm losing my voice. I'm going to close off with that. Everybody have a great day, and we will see you in the forums. Hey everybody, thanks for coming on. This is the Valentine's Day 2020 live training session number 3. So first, let me know if you can see my screen. I hope you can, and you can hear me. You can just give me a 1 in the chat box. We're good to go. Okay, cool. Good. We've got quite a few on there. And apparently I forgot to move my dog bowl. Sorry about that. Okay, so here's what we're going to cover. This is basically the one where you've ran at least 5 tests and you found 1 winner out of the 5. So the next step is to kind of scale it. So you want to get more sales, you want to spend more money. So I've got 3 scaling methods that I'm going to teach you today. And then you can pick and choose which one you want to do depending on how aggressive you want to be. Or you can use all 3, or you can just focus on one, whatever you want to do. We'll talk about scaling here. And one of the biggest things with scaling is in your test campaigns, you need to have something that had at least 3 sales in order to move to the next phase. If it had 1 or 2, you can keep going with kind of the test reinforcement campaigns to see if you can get more. But if you have 3 or more, then you know that you're onto something pretty good. So when you find a definite winner, it just reaches out and like slaps you in the face. There's 0 doubt about it. All right. So people always say, well, how do I know when to move on? 3 sales or more in the test phase means you can move on to this phase, which is kind of scaling. So let's look at how we do that. And I'm going to go in here. and I'm going to go into this campaign and show you the results. The results stink for this one, honestly. So here's what happened. So let's sort this by campaign number. So we spent $92.98. Now remember, these ones ran in the morning. Oh wait. Oh, I think I labeled them wrong. Oh no, we started in the afternoon. That's right. So in this case, we started 5 of them at 4 p.m. and then we scheduled 5 of them to start at 3 a.m. Right? So there's your 10 reinforcement method campaigns for testing. The rules worked because the rules shut them off. So this is a column, well, actually this purchase column is what I'm concerned with. There's nothing in this column. That sucks. The add to cart column, I would expect to have at least a couple add to carts. I have none. So when I saw that it ran on that day, on the 16th, starting at 4 p.m., and I spent, 18, and I didn't even get an add to cart, that means the necklace itself is a dud. So it's just, I pulled the plug and I turned off the ones that would start the next day because there's no point. This is a good indicator of you're not on something, okay? And it will happen. And now, remember we talked about the design, and it was kind of ugly, and people are saying, I don't know if that'll work. Well, the data, I thought it was ugly, everybody thought it was ugly, the people thought it was ugly. So done, dud, trash bin for me. I'm not bothering with that design. I've got a lot of other ones that are a lot prettier, a lot better, that work a little bit better. Oh, well, actually a lot better. So if you're getting, at the end of your first batch of 5, if you have at least some add to carts, then I would let the next batch run, right? Because we schedule in the morning and the afternoon. So if you schedule the morning and you get a couple add to carts but no sales, let the afternoon run. If you schedule in the morning and you get no add to carts and no sales, turn off the afternoon because there's no point in running it. It's just, you spent $92.98, you bought some data, you figured out that, hey, you know what? Didn't work. It's okay. It happens. Don't cry over it. Don't worry about it. You have to spend money in testing in order to find out, which one of these are your winners. So it does happen. Nobody's perfect. So what we have, though, is a little bit of data. So we can use that data now. So what we're going to do is go to the breakdown by delivery, and we're going to look at age first. Now, I don't have add to cart or purchase. I wish I did, but I can sort it by content views. At least I have a little bit of data. And I can see that the most people that were clicking in this case were like 55 to 64. And then down here, it's kind of a mix up, 35 to 64 in that ad set. And you keep going down. And you can see 45 to 54 was clicking a lot. 45 to 54, 25 to 34, 18 to 25 in that case, the hunters. And let's just keep going down. So that was hunting. This one, we had 55 to 64, and then 35 to 44. And so what you can see here is some patterns. So the people that are clicking seem to be the older guys. And that kind of makes sense because I think if I sort by amount spent too, you can get some data from this too. So 35 to 44 was clicking, 45 to 54 was clicking, 25 to 34 was spending but not clicking as much, like half, and 55 to 64 was clicking. So to me, that means like 35 to basically 64 is probably where I want to target the older men. And what I'm thinking is with an engaged necklace, the older men are probably on round 2, like they're on marriage number 2. So they're probably divorced and they just got engaged again, and maybe they're a little bit more sentimental than they were on the first round, because the younger guys don't seem to be responding as much. So if I just try and, well, no, we're going to buy amount spent. So down here in this one, love and engaged, we've got the older guys again, 55 to 64. But in this case, 25 to 34 got some clicks, 45 to 54, 35 to 54. So look at your data, okay? Now, if I had add to cart and purchases, this would be better data, but this is not garbage data just because I don't have that. And this one, in the hunters, it looks like the younger guys were doing it versus the older guys. So maybe the hunters who are engaged are not really interested in this because maybe they're not on round 2 of their marriage. So you can look at that and you can figure it out. Even this one, 18 to 24 for Super Bowl and engaged, just had 1. But look at that, 45 to 54 had 5. 55, 64 had 1, 65 plus had 3. So that's an anomaly. That might be a mistake. So what we want to do is make some mental notes, or you can actually write it down. You can say, okay, it seems to me that in the engaged niche right now, the older ones, like 35 plus, are kind of more interested in this stuff than the younger ones. So maybe the young guys are not as sentimental. I don't know. I'm not sure. It could even be that the actual necklace itself just didn't appeal to like anybody. So we have a little bit of data. We can make a little bit of, you know, assumptions here, but we don't want to go with too many because we only spent like $92. If we spent $9,200, now we'd have a lot better data that we could go with. But always look at your data just to see. From this one, I'm not going to draw any super conclusions because I didn't get an add to cart. So that indicator says, hey, it's a dud, move on, Will. So that's what I'm going to do. Now, we have to go hypothetical here because I didn't get a sale on this or even add to cart. But we're going to go back here and we're going to say, okay, let's say we got at least 3 sales. So the first step I can do is a reinforcement horizontal scaling. And in this case, all I'm going to do is kind of continue my test, not test stuff, but I'm going to expand. So instead of doing like 5 in the morning and 5 in the afternoon, I can do 10 in the morning and 10 in the afternoon. Okay. And you can just schedule those out every day of the week except for your bad days. So people always say, well, what's the worst day? Well, typically it's Monday is the worst day. I don't really want to run anything on Monday, but the rest of the days are good. Saturday seems to be dropping off, but so Friday night, Saturday seems to drop off a little bit, but then Sunday picks right back up, and then Tuesday all the way through to Friday in the morning are good. So scaling horizontally means more ad sets or more campaigns in this case. So instead of, like I said, instead of scheduling 5, you're going to schedule 10 in the morning, 10 in the afternoon. And then if that's working, you can even bump that up to like 15 and then 20 and then 30 and then 40 and then 50. So as you're making money, just keep scheduling more and more ad sets to start in the morning, start in the afternoon. So that's horizontal scaling because you're not really increasing any budgets. You're just going with the method, the reinforcement method, and you're just adding more ad sets. So a very simple way to do it, a very good way to do it as well, because that's going to build up your pixel power, your ad account power, your campaign power, because basically the more you spend in your ad account, the better you're going to do. So the guys starting at 0, you're at a disadvantage. It's not impossible, but you are at a disadvantage compared to like my ad account where I've spent over $1 million, because Facebook treats them both a little bit different, but not too much. So I hope that makes sense. So number 1 for scaling is just increase the number of ad sets. Okay, and if it's working, keep increasing it again. So there's nothing wrong with that. You could even tighten up your rules if you want, but there's no need. If it's working, it's working. I mean, honestly, any scaling method that you use, if you have a good product, you could have the worst ad campaign possible and it will still profit. It's amazing. All right, so here's just a comment here. That's odd. I've always had great Mondays when I did e-commerce. Yeah, I don't know. Mondays for me have just stunk. I'm just looking at some comments here. So here's another question. All 10 morning ad set interest is different as compared to 10 ad sets will launch in the afternoon. So yeah, right. Good question. What interest do I target? So let's say Valentine's Day and engaged, or maybe, I don't know, maybe hunting and engaged, even though it didn't work. Maybe this one worked. So then we can go into the hunting niche and go into subcategories. So we can start looking at hunting magazines, hunting stores, hunting clothing, different types of hunting, hunting equipment, guns, bow and arrows, camouflage, all those different things underneath the main category of hunting. So when you start to see like an area of interest getting sales, then you want to dig deeper into it. And how you dig deeper is you just go into it. So I'll go into the ad set, and you're literally going to create more ad sets based on this. So there's hunting, you do suggestions. Now all of these ones are kind of underneath the, well, some are not related, some are directly related, like deer hunting. So if hunting worked, I would launch another ad set for deer hunting and outdoor enthusiasts, outdoor recreation. And then I go to things like big game hunting, trophy hunting, and then Bass Pro Shops, right? Because it's basically a store for hunters. Cabela's is a store for hunters. So these are all things that we could explore in order to try and create more ad sets. So when you're first starting with your scaling here and you're trying to go up to 10 ad sets, I would kind of keep them different, but then you can also get into lookalikes as well. So a lookalike just means you create a custom audience and then you're going to create lookalikes based on those custom audiences that you can target to with your reinforcement, kind of expansion. So we could do a 1% view content lookalike all the way to 10% view content lookalike. Then we could do 1% add to cart lookalike all the way to 10% add to cart lookalike. Then we could do like 1% purchase lookalike all the way to 10% purchase lookalike. So that alone will give you a ton of different targeting options that you can use. And then eventually, once you have that running for a while, you can actually shift to no interest because your pixel knows where these guys are and it'll be able to find them. So you can't skip to example number 3, the berry method that I'll show you, without having the reinforcement method working for a while, because you really want to build up that optimization in your ad account and your campaign before you move on to the big timers. So the 10 pack I'll show you, the berry method I'll show you. I would start with this and just do horizontal scaling with different interests, dive down into interests that work as well as lookalikes that work too. Okay, if you guys need any help on lookalikes, I can shoot a video on that. That's quite easy. But I do want to get into these two methods here. So the 10 pack method is a $1,000 a day campaign, all right? And the berry method is a $2,500 a day campaign. So we're talking big time. Like you got a winner, you want to scale this thing. So I'm going to show you how. So let's go into the 10 pack method, and this involves manual bidding. So I'm going to show you here, and I'm going to actually use, I think I'm going to use this one. Hunting always seems to work. I don't know why it didn't work this time, but, well, which one got the most clicks? Let's see. Sort by content views, and Love and Engage got the most clicks. So here's another tip too. When you want to expand campaigns and do more campaigns, it's always easiest to do a duplicate of an existing one and then just edit it instead of starting from scratch. Because when you do a duplicate, you know everything's all there. So the ad's all ready to go. This is dynamic creative, so it's awesome. You have to use dynamic creative when you're scaling to $1,000 a day or $2,500 a day. Or you have to have at least 5 to 10 ads in there minimum. So what I prefer dynamic creative because Facebook likes it a lot. So this is how I'm going to do it. So let's say I'm running the reinforcement method 10 in the morning, 10 in the afternoon, run that for like a week, and it's working very well. So now I want to go even further. So I'm going to add in the 10 pack method. And the 10 pack is simply this. You take your best ones from the reinforcement method and you do a duplicate, and we're going to adjust it. So let's do that now. So we have 10 campaigns for 004. So I'm going to do a duplicate of this one, and it's going to create a new campaign. And I don't want to show existing reactions. It doesn't matter. It only shows up to the time it's duplicated. It doesn't show beyond that. So let's go one copy. Now let's turn it on, and then let's change this number because we're at number 11 now. And in here, we're going to change a couple things. So we're going to call this 10 pack, and we're going to remove this information because we don't need it. And we're just going to call this USA, and it is target cost bidding, and we'll put the date. Oh, so remember before with the reinforcement method, you could start it in the afternoon. With this, you have to start it the next day at midnight, okay? Because these are big budgets, so we have to do that. So we're gonna actually leave CBO on, and we're going to change this from 100 to 1,000. So there we go. Now you can even put that on here if you want. This is just the title. All right, so we're gonna set it up like that. Now I'm gonna edit the first ad set. And in here, I'm just gonna change this to 11. So we're gonna do USA In this case, I don't really have enough data to narrow it super down, but I'm going to go 35 plus because my data was showing in general that seems to be where it was working best. And this isn't the reinforcement method. This is now the 10 pack. And then I'm going to change the date because it's going to start tomorrow. And I don't need the 4 p.m. start anymore. So make sure you have this 10 pack in there, and make sure you have 10 pack in there in the campaign name and in the ad set name. You're going to need it. Actually, we have to go back here for a sec. Scroll down. Remember, the other one was auto bid. So we're going to change the bidding. So click this, go to other bid options and target cost. So now we just changed this CBO campaign to a target cost. Now go back here. So we've got everything set up, our pixels set up correctly. Our time is not set up, so we have to change that to the next day. We want to do 12 o'clock a.m. And when you're doing big budgets, start it at midnight so you don't have any pacing issues. Then we're just going to change this based on the data that we have to 35 plus men. We're going to leave the interest the same. This is still 510,000, which is fine for this because you'll see in a second what we're doing. We're going to leave auto placements on, but down here is the difference. So here's our target cost, and our target cost, I make $35 per sale. So I want to start basically $5 below that, or even more. No, $5 below and $5 above. So I'm going to start, if I want to make $25 per sale on a $35 product, that leaves me a $10 margin. So I would start my bids here. This is the target cost per purchase I'm talking about. So if 25 is what I'm aiming for on a cost per purchase. So I'm going to subtract 5 from that, and that will bring me down to 20. So this will be $20 here. Now, it's weird, but you have to kind of put in some pennies on there because most people will just bid a flat amount. So we want to kind of change it. So I always go 20.13. And this is on a $35 product. So this is going to bid, try and get my cost at $20.13. And you'll see, they say it might come in here. But once you see the whole picture, it'll make more sense. So we're starting here. Take your target cost per purchase minus 5, and then add some pennies. That's how you set up the first one. Now, let's go into the up here. Let's just grab this, and let's just put this on the ad. So we don't need to even edit anything in here because it's going to create a new ad. Now, I understand this one didn't get any action, but I'm going to use this as an example only. You're going to use ones that actually got sales, and at 3 sales minimum. And you're going to have run the reinforcement method for at least a week before you get into this. Okay, cool. So I've got my first one, and I'm going to click on it. I only want this to show on the screen. Why does this one show? Get out of there, other one. Apparently use. All right, that's better. Okay, so here is my campaign and my first ad set. So now all I'm going to do is go here, do a duplicate. And again, I'm just going to do 9 duplicates. And then duplicate. So now I've got 10 identical ad sets. And now I'm going to collapse this screen. And you'll see here, the bid strategy is the key column now. So my bid strategy is saying, on the ad set level, this one is 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, 20, all the way down. So what we want to do is start editing these. So we'll leave the first one at 20, and this one we'll edit, and we're going to go to 21. And this one we'll edit, and we'll go to 22. And this one we're going to edit and go to 23. And this one, what are we on? 24. Nope. 24. So we're just going to increment them by $1 and 25 and 26. So this is our 10 pack. They're identical ad sets except for the bid. $28 and then 29. So you can see we've got bids on both sides of our target. Like we want kind of do $25 seat cost per purchase. So we've got them on both sides, below and above. And that is the basic setup for the 10-pack campaign. So then I would upload that. And then what I'm also going to do is run rules. So the main rule that I need to do is I'm going to actually go here and show you. So in here right now, all we have is a reinforcement method. So I need a rule. And the first rule I want to do is I want to say, okay, if this campaign spends like $50 without a sale, shut down the whole thing. Because we want to control our costs. We're not going to let these things run wild and free. At $1,000 a day, if it spends like $50 or even $100, it's fine. But basically, we don't want to let it go to like 150, 200 without a sale at all on any one of the ad sets. Because the thing is, we're going to be running a whole bunch of 10 packs. So this 10 pack is actually Love and Engaged. We could do another 10 pack for Valentine's Day and Engage. We could do another 10 pack for Hunting and Engage, and another for Romance and Love. We could do another for just Engaged if we wanted to. We could do another for, you know, there's an unlimited number of 10 packs that you can do, just like there's an unlimited number of reinforcement method campaigns you can do. So it's just the setup within it is different, but we're going to put a safety rule in place here too. So that this safety rule is just saying all active campaigns, if the name contains 10 pack, so settings, campaign name contains 10 pack. Oops. And spent is greater than, say, 100. And purchases is smaller than 1, and shut it off. And we're going to do this daily. So if your 10 pack gets a sale before $100 spent, it'll keep running. Okay. If it doesn't, then it's going to shut down. Let's go like this. 10 pack rule. This is pretty much the most important rule. Rule number 1, if spent is greater than 100, well, let's go turn off campaign. Spent is greater than 100, and there we go. So that's our little safety rule. And then within there too, what we can do is shut down ad sets as well. So let's create rule number 2, and this is on the ad set level. So over here, within here, you can run kind of similar rules to the remeth one, the reinforcement method, where, you know, if it spends $15 without an add to cart, shut it off. If it spends like $30 without a purchase, or $25 without a purchase, shut it off. Wherever you want to set your triggers is fine. So let's do the first one for add to cart. Let's go settings. In this case, it's ad set name contains 10 pack. And in this case, we'll say if it spent $15, if the ad set spent more than $15 without an add to cart, then we're going to shut it off. It is smaller than 1, then we're going to shut her down. Kind of wish I copied that name there. 10 pack, rule number 2, turn off ad set if spent greater than 15 and ATC is add to cart is less than 1 today. There, I copied that. So what that'll do, if a couple of these start getting a little bit of traffic and they spend some money, but they're not getting any action, then the rule will just shut it off and it'll leave the remainders running. So it'll basically force Facebook to put the budget into the best ad set, because we're using CBO, which is campaign budget optimization, which just means we set the campaign level budget and Facebook will distribute it to each of these ad sets for us. But we're not going to rely 100% on Facebook yet. We're going to actually put some rules in place to kind of guide Facebook's hand. because sometimes Facebook falls asleep at the wheel, and we want to make sure that if there's not enough like purchases on that pixel that they don't really know exactly where to going and they go into test mode a little bit too much, we want to guide them. So that's what these rules are doing. Now in the next one I'll show you, there's a lot less guiding because we're really relying on Facebook for a lot. So let's do the last rule. And this is turn off ad sets if, actually we need two more. So let's say settings, ad set name contains 10 pack. And then we'll go here. And we're gonna go spent is greater than 25. I think we said 25. You can do 25 or 30. Depends on how aggressive you want to be. And in this case, purchases is smaller than 1. And we can do today. So this is rule number 3. Turn off ad set if spent is greater than 25 is pretty aggressive. 30 is reasonable, but it's up to you. Okay, and then we need our last rule. Now let's say one of those actually is getting sales, but it got like 1, and then it's trying to spend like $1,000 on that one ad set. Well, we want to have a little bit of control in place to make sure the ad spend doesn't get out of control. And this is just a little safety one that we can put on that when it has a sale. So we'll say ad set name contains 10 pack. And it's usually the second, after the third sale, it tends to stabilize on the cost per purchase end, second or third sale. So we can say if spent is greater than like 2 or 3 times our target cost per purchase. So if our target cost per purchase is 25, which is what the other rule says, then we can set this to 2 or 3 times that, depending on how aggressive you want to be. So I could say, okay, if it spends 50, actually I'm going to go 3 times. 3 times a little bit more conservative. So if it spends $75 and it has a sale, at least one sale, greater than 0, and our cost per purchase is greater than, might as well use the same trigger point as we did on the shut off, 25 or 30, then it's going to turn it off. Now, here we can use today's numbers as well, or we could go lifetime, or we could go last 3 days. I think to keep it all kind of in line, we'll just go with today. So turn off ad set if spent is greater than 3 times my target cost per purchase. Purchase is greater than 0, so it got at least 1 sale, and cost per purchase is greater than 25 today. There we go. So now all the future 10 packs that we launch, these 4 rules will apply to it. Okay, so that is good stuff. And then what you're going to do now is you're going to say, okay, I have like one. Actually, we should add this name. I don't like that, because do this. Put this in here, because we're going to be doing multiple. I'm going to say 10 pack there. So we might, there's really no point in changing the name to what I had originally. So let's get, this way we can at a glance see which 10 pack this is. So we know it's a 10 pack. We know it's 11 engaged on a campaign level. That's a little bit simpler. Now we click in it, see all the ad sets have the same title. They're all doing the same targeting. They're all duplicates except for the bid strategy, which is target cost. All right, so I hope that makes sense. And then those rules, 1, 2, 3, 4, these are safety rules only. They're just kind of to make sure that things don't get out of hand within the CBO. So that is kind of a, I would call that like a middle tier. And now your job is to go in and say, okay, I've got 11 engaged running. Maybe I can run a 1% purchase lookalike on the 10 pack. That's actually a really good one. Any of your purchase lookalikes running in the 10 pack for targeting work really, really well. So that's something that you probably will want to do. I think everybody in here knows how to create a lookalike and custom audiences. It's not difficult at all. If you guys don't know how, just let me know in the forums and I'll actually shoot a video for it dedicated to this so you know how to use them. But like a 1% purchase lookalike in a 10 pack, then go 2%, 3%, 4%, 5%, 6%, all the way to 10%. Then you can do the ones like 1 to 5, 5 to 10. Those work well. You can do 3, 5, 10, whatever you want to do, whatever combo you want to do. But you can have an unlimited number of 10 packs running, and you can see at $1,000 a day with some rules controlling it, you're going to be spending a lot more money, right? So Facebook is really going to be able to zone in on who your buyers are, and they're going to know where exactly to go to find these people. So as you spend more money, Facebook is kind of happy, but we're putting a little cost control on that. So one thing you're going to find when you run 10 packs and you're looking at your ad sets, you might go, okay, what the heck? Like, I'm running this, but I have no, it's not spending any money. So what you need to do in that case is you need to, I wouldn't do it in this one. I would do a duplicate of the entire campaign. And what I would do is raise my starting point. So if you notice that, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, they're not getting any impressions and they're not spending any money at all, it's because this target cost bid is too low for Facebook. So we need to set our starting point at the point where we're actually getting traffic. So if 26.13 is actually getting some traffic, even a trickle, then we'll do a duplicate of the whole campaign. We'll pause this one, do a duplicate, and we'll start the bidding at 26.13 and go up in dollar increments from there. And that's how we have to adjust it. Okay, so it's not that they're going to come in at this amount, and you can, like, manual bidding doesn't mean you will only accept cost per purchase at X amount. It just means that's what you're bidding in the auction. So your cost per purchase could come in a lot lower, or it could come in a lot higher too. But it just gives you some control over the whole thing. So step 1 is scale horizontally for at least a week with the reinforcement method. Step 2 is add in the 10 pack method. And here you can do, it's bugging me, the A and B. There we go. 10 in the morning, 10 in the afternoon, 10 pack. And here you can do unlimited number of 10 packs. Depends on how aggressive you want to scale. Okay, and then troubleshooting. I'll put this in here. And then I'll put this in a post too in the forums. So troubleshooting, not spending anything. Pause campaign, duplicate it, and then start bids on new campaign at whatever level. Traffic from previous, pretty much. And then run it again. So don't forget the rules. All right, hope that makes sense. So now we're going to move to the berry method. So I'm going to tell you, everybody good with that? Got some questions coming in. I'll answer these right now. Then we'll move on to the big dog, the gigantic berry method. So, question: Do you decide Facebook decide in which ad set to spend money? There's an option within each ad set that lets you set a minimum spend per ad set within CBO. In the 10 pack method, I do not. In the next method, I absolutely do. So it's just different styles of campaigns. So in this one, I'm not setting the minimum ad set spend. In the berry method, I am. So I'll get to that. So I guess from an aggressiveness point of view, the berry method is the most aggressive thing that you can use, and this is going to be like $2,500 a day. So 10 pack, I'll put this in here. CBO. So that's $1,000 a day. This one, starts at $2,500. So you're not going to jump into this, and unless you have, I would say, if we have to put numbers on things, let's go like this. There. And here, if we have to put numbers, I'd say 500. Okay, so you're going to spend a lot of time in the reinforcement, horizontal scaling before you move to the 10 pack or the berry method. Even 1,000 in the berry method is actually I'm going to do that because it's a big one and it has to have a lot of sales so that it really knows where to go, because this is going to blow your mind what I show you in a second, but we're basically handing over the reins to Facebook, and we're giving them a ton of control, and we're just going to say, hey, you know what, have at it. And we're going to spend a lot of money, but when it clicks, man, it clicks nice and it just works. So you're not going to jump from spending like $20 or $50 a day to the berry method. It's going to take time. So you have at least 100 sales on the reinforcement horizontal scaling before you move to 10 packs, at least 1,000 sales on the 10 pack before you move to the berry method. Okay, so don't think you can just jump into this method I'm going to show you, and I'm actually a little hesitant to show you guys because it is a monster. So you're also going to be blown away with how much free reign I actually give to Facebook. But so let's, again, the easiest way to do this is to take an existing campaign and do a duplicate. So I'll take a different one this time, and I'll go, it doesn't even matter. Let's do a dupe of this one. So you're going to do a dupe of any campaign. It doesn't matter which one, as long as it has a dynamic creative in it. So we don't have to redo all that. So this is going to be number 12. And now we can get rid of this because this is going to be, oh, somebody asked, where did the name Barry come from? Well, a guy named Barry actually posted in a Facebook group about this new method that he had that was working really well. So whenever I see that, I go out and I try it. And I tried it and it worked. And so now I'm just going to call it by his name because I didn't invent this. He invented this. But it's so simple, it's going to blow your mind. So that's where the name came from. The actual guy's name is Barry. So I give him full credit for this method. I'm just going to show it to you guys. So here, we're going to do the Barry method. It's $2,500, 4 ad sets, and Facebook has control, which is scary as hell, but it does work. So make sure your CBO is turned on. Let's go crazy here. 2,500 daily budget. For bids, I'm going to leave it on auto. Okay, not safe, but you'll see. It's nuts, this whole thing. When you're running this the first time, you probably won't sleep the night before. So we're going to have 4 ad sets. These ad sets are going to be wide open. And the wide open works best. So no interest, and I'm going to put Barry in here. And then we're going to delete that part. And it's going to start, 24th. There's a question coming in. Do you use the Barry method instead of your Meg method? The Meg has got a lot of rules attached. The Barry is just a different, bigger method than the Meg even. Oh, your dad's name is Barry. That's cool. So this is just another method that I use. So here is where somebody mentioned ad spend limits. So we're going to put this on here. And what we're going to do is this. You need your calculator to show you. So you take $2,500 times 0.2, which is 20%, and then divide that by 4. So your minimum spend is 125. Okay. This will, it's not going to, it's not going to allow Facebook to like dump everything into one campaign, because then the ad spend in one ad set will get out of control. But with this, it'll spread it. It'll force them to spread it in the start, and then they still have 80% of the budget to go focus on the one that's doing best for the day. Okay, so you're going to set that minimum on a $2,500 campaign to $125, or $2,500 to $2,500. A $2,500 daily budget requires a minimum ad spend of $125 on a 4 ad set campaign. Hope that makes sense. And then in here, we have to start these at midnight because it is a gigantic budget. It won't even get really rolling for a couple hours. I don't know why, but there's a little delay. Now here's the cool part. Remember I said about like ages and trying to narrow them down on the lower budget stuff? Well, with this, we don't. We leave it wide open, and we're actually going to delete this, and we're going to delete this. So our target for this is 100 million men. And we are completely 100% relying on this pixel, which has at least 1,000 purchases on it for this necklace in order to make this work. If you tried to run this when you have like 1 or 2 or 3 purchases, it'll fall on its face. It just won't work. So this pixel has built up so much optimization that Facebook now knows exactly who, like I'm not even putting engaged because Facebook knows I'm after engaged people. They just know. I don't want to say train the pixel, but I've guided the pixel so much now with my reinforcement method and my 10 packs and now this, that they know where these buyers are and they know exactly who I'm targeting because Facebook has built up the perfect profile of my perfect customer and that's who they're going to go after. So it's scary as hell to do. And the first time I did it, I was like, okay, I'm probably going to lose money today, but I fired it up on a real big winner during the Christmas run and it worked. And I was like, holy shit, I love it. So that's all we're relying on is this thing is our targeting. You know, we can set the age and the gender and the country, but everything else is up to Facebook. I'm not even putting engaged in here. So let's do copy that. And then we're definitely using dynamic creatives for this. And this is where these dynamic creatives are super powerful because we're spending so much money that Facebook can go through all the variations. And if you look at the variations, you go like this. How many variations will there be of that ad? So there's 2 images times 2 primary text times 2 headlines times 2 descriptions times 2 buttons. There's 32 variations that Facebook can create of this ad. So if you were running this manually, you'd have to create 32 ads. But in this case, Facebook is going to mix and match all these to find the best combo possible for you. And the thing is, when you hand them the reins like this, they love it. They're really happy. So now we're not done though. So let's go here and let's do a duplicate of this. Why does it keep doing that? I think I have previous one selected. I just want only that one in there. I'm gonna edit. There, that's better. Okay, so now we're gonna do a duplicate. And in this case, typically I will go with women in here too. Well, actually I can't do that. I have to edit this. Sorry, forgot something. We're gonna split this. 21 to, where were they coming in? 35, so it's about 34. So because with some of the stuff I run in the like dad to daughter niche, I can target men, or in a niche like, or if I do a daughter necklace and I have it available for men and women, then I can split it by men and women. But if I don't have that option, then I have to get a little bit creative. So let's go by this. So we're just gonna do 2 ad sets for the USA. We're gonna split the age range down the middle. There we go. Sorry about that. I was thinking of men and women, but we're not doing men and women. And then this one, number 2, we'll split it at 35 plus. Then I'll just change the age. So the only thing I have to change down here is go 35 plus. And I'll change the title of this. There. So we've got ad set 1 is the lower age, ad set 2 is the upper age, and then ad set 3, all we're gonna do is go like this. We're gonna go number 3, and instead of USA, we're gonna go worldwide, and this one will be the lower age. Copy that, I'll paste it here. I'm gonna go Make sure I got the settings right. So now we're going to change it from USA. Get rid of that. And we're going to go to worldwide. Now, one thing with worldwide, every campaign you run, I want you to exclude one country, Nigeria, because it will never convert for you ever. Now let's make this 2134. So yes, we are including the US in this worldwide. Why? Because it works. We will still get traffic from both in the US here, but this one targets only in the US. This one might actually get cheaper US traffic because it's worldwide. Okay, and last one is number 4, do a dupe. And this one is going to be 35 plus worldwide. So let's change this to 35 plus. Worldwide. And then I actually have to do one more thing on the worldwide too, but I'll finish this off. 35 plus. I'm going here. And now, one issue we have, if we left it like this on the worldwide targeting, you can see it's like 460 million people, men 35 plus in the US, or sorry, worldwide. This one is 21 to 34 men, 680 million people. So now what we want to do is this. We don't want to target people that speak like Russian or some language that they won't understand. So we have to add that. That'll knock that down a bit. 350 English speaking men worldwide. And same with this one. We want to put English as a language. And now we'll do English all, of course. So I'll just do, there it is. Sometimes it's weird. Just do English all. So now these worldwide ones are only targeting English speakers. In the USA account ad sets, we don't really have to worry about that. Guys, odds are they speak English or it's their second language at least. So you can see the basic setup here. Go back to this one. So this is USA 2134, and we've got 4 ad sets. The minimum spend, you take your, I'll just review this. Your budget, 2,500 times 20%, and then divided by the number of ad sets. That's how I got that. So it's 125 going there, 125 there, 125 there, 125 there. The worldwide, the only difference is we're going to set that to worldwide, exclude Nigeria, and make sure we have English set as a language. Okay, so that's the difference between the two. Now, as far as how do we manage this, how do we shut off ad sets, how do we shut off, what if worldwide men, or USA 35 plus is getting all the sales and the rest of them is like spending money but not really getting sales? The thing is, we're not using rules. We're leaving it to Facebook. And it's scary as hell to do it, but they do figure it out. And they do start profiting. And then we'll let this run. This at 2,500 with that big of an audience, it'll run for in the engaged niche probably for about 7 to 10 days, and then it might start petering off. Like your ROI will start dropping a little bit. What you do in that case is you pause this big CBO, and then you do a duplicate, and then you look at, okay, if USA 35 plus men was the absolute best out of that whole week or a 10-day run, then I'm going to create another Barry 2,500 4 ad sets, but I'm going to start at USA 35 plus 35 to 44. That will be one ad set, and then 45 to 54 will be ad set number 2, and then 55 to 64 will be ad set number 3, and then 65 plus will be ad set number 4. Let that run for 7 to 10 days, and then within there you might see, oh, okay, well, for 55 to 64 men are the best one, like by far on that. So after 7 to 10 days, if the ROI starts dropping, you pause this one and you go, okay, now I'm going to focus in on that 10-year age range, and I'll break that up into 4 ad sets. So that's how you keep these things going. Typically, though, on a gigantic, wide open, have at it Facebook type of thing, these will go for a long time. I'm just saying, if after 7 to 10 days they start dropping off in performance, then you do need to do some things. So although we're leaving the optimization really up to Facebook and we're not going to touch it, we do need a rule, because I want to be able to sleep at night. So my rule, the one basic rule I have for this is I'm gonna just have a cap on what I'll spend, just for my own peace of mind. So if it campaign name contains berry, and my cap is like 200 bucks. So I'm gonna say if spent is greater than 200, and this, and it doesn't have a sale. I'm gonna go purchases is smaller than 1 today. I'm gonna turn it off. So we call this berry. Rule number 1: if spent is greater than 200 and purchases is less than 1 today. Forgot this part again. Turn off campaign. If spent is greater than 200 and purchases less than 1. So this is my little safety rule, because if these are starting at midnight and I'm asleep and it like goes boom all the way up to 300 bucks and doesn't get a sale, well, this will kick in and it'll turn it off. So you can see that we're using auto placements. We're using everything that Facebook wants from the power of 5, and I'll show you the Facebook power of 5 here. Here it is. This whole berry method is based on this. Okay, so what they're saying is use dynamic ads, use auto placements, use CBOs, simplify your account, and this advanced auto matching is a pixel. So if you go in here, I'll show you. Somebody was asking about this on the forums. If I go to, oh, wait a minute. No. Anyway, there is an advanced pixel optimization in there. It's not on that one because I already set them all on. So advanced auto matching is just a little thing Facebook did. So the old way, inaccurate measurement doesn't properly attribute the source to website or conversion. The power play auto advanced matching improves performance by more accurately ascribing, ascribing, that's a new word. That's not a new word, but where conversions come from. This keeps you informed to make better decisions, learn more. So your site, your pixel fire. So you can learn more here about the advanced auto matching. Okay. A lot more here. You can set it up. Here's the setup before you begin. So you go to Events Manager, Pixel, Settings, and then below Automatic Advanced Matching section, it's a switch on the pixel. I don't want to show you all my pixels because then you'll see all my niches that I'm in that ad account, and that's a big one. Or wait, no, you won't on that one. Hang on. What am I saying? Let me try something here. Let me do a new tab. I'm just going to do a new tab in the other folder here. Sorry. I just don't really want to give away every single thing I do, because I got a lot of people watching me, a lot of eyeballs. Let me go in here. I'm just on the other screen for a second. See if I can get this. Oh, and engaged, yeah. Bear with me. There we go. And let's go to pixels. Here it is. Okay. All right. So you go to all tools, pixels, right? And then you'll come to this page. Well, let's go right from the beginning. Pixels. Since it is loading just my Engage one. I thought it was in my other account, which has a lot of info. So you go to details, and then you go to settings. Settings. And then down here, advanced auto matching, advanced matching. This is your toggle switch. Turn it on or off. You need this on for the berry method. For the lower stuff, I don't think you need it as much, but the whole premise is these 5 things combine to really get you some sales. Let me go through every one. See how top advertisers that use it benefit. And there's a URL. You guys can look at this. Facebook.com/business/m/power-5. There's a download our handy one-sheet guide to the Power 5. The webinar, case studies. So this is when you've got something that's working and you really want to scale it and you want to spend a lot of money. This is how you do it. So I set the daily at 2,500. If it's working at 2,500 after like a week or two, go up to 5,000. Why not? I mean, if you're bringing in more than you're spending, that's the ultimate goal, and that's what we want to do. So when you have something that's working, like I'll say, make hay while the sun shines. My biggest regret for my whole Christmas run up is I didn't spend like double or triple the budget that I was spending. And I was running this berry method during the Christmas run up, and it was bringing in the lion's share of my sales because the pixel, all these 5 things combined to just know, who I was wanting to target, and Facebook just handed over the reins, and I was shocked. So I'm going to take some questions now on that because you guys may have not seen that one before. You may have. So what if we use the same pixel for selling other stuff of another niche? Can this berry method still work after selling 1,000? No, it can't. If you have a jumbled up pixel, don't do the berry method. So you're going to want to have, it's got to be at 1 pixel per niche for this to even work. Same with the 10 pack, and actually same with the reinforcement method. If you have a store and you got like 1 million products on it and it's all on the same pixel, you can't do this. You can use like Trackify or something to create separate pixels, or there's other apps now like Pixel Perfect or Vitali or something for Shopify. But for me, I'm using platforms. I know that I have a dedicated pixel for each niche. So the pixel is where the tracker, and that's where all the power builds up. And if you have it all jumbled up with a whole bunch of different ones, you can't run the berry method. It just won't work because Facebook has no clue who you want. So if you're selling like kitchen gadgets and cool toys and then necklaces, it doesn't know who your buyer is. So you have to have a dedicated pixel. I should have said that too. Let me put that in here. Must have dedicated niche pixel to do this. Okay. What are we on? Here we go. Ooh, big one. Is there more training on the forum for the horizontal reinforcement method? If not, do you mind spending a little more time on that at the end for newbies? I have a few designs with at least 3 sales, so I'd like to try the scaling phase this week, but I'm unclear what to do. Sounds like you said to do multiple. Sounds like you said to do multiple ad sets in one campaign, which is different from what we did in phase 2. So hoping for a little clarification. Yeah. Okay. So this reinforcement horizontal scaling, 10. I'll clarify. Campaigns in the morning, 10 campaigns in the afternoon. I think that's what you're asking. You're not doing multiple ad sets in the reinforcement method. The reinforcement method is 1 campaign, 1 ad set, 1 dynamic creative for the ad. That's it. So when I say horizontal, I just mean you're doing more reinforcement method campaigns. So everything stays the same. You're just doing more of them. So the horizontal just means instead of adjusting a budget up or down, you're just adding more campaigns with the exact same structure, exact same rules and everything that we did in the previous training. Okay, hope that makes sense. Another question. These are awesome. Keep them coming. Do you run the berry method only on the one best winner necklace, or if you have another winner necklace, maybe a bit less, you also run the berry campaign at the same time, like simultaneously, or do one berry at a time and not run them simultaneously? Possibly you sleep better if you run just one berry at a time. Okay, good question. You can run multiple berries. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, I have. So if you have 2 necklaces that are working and they both have over 1,000 sales, go for it. Nothing wrong with that. It works. No problem. Actually, at one point, I think I had 4 running one day, and 2 of them like shut off because of that $200 rule, but the other 2 just kept going. There's absolutely nothing wrong with running multiple berries. If you can pay, if you have the cash flow to afford $10,000 a day, go for it. And I know it kind of goes against everything we teach. You know, use rules, adjust things, and let guide it. Even in the $1,000 when I'm guiding it, but and the reinforcement method, I'm shutting it down. But once you get to the point of the berry method, you don't need to do it. And it's all just, it's because it's got so much history. It's like the Pixel has experience now, and instead of being like in kindergarten, it's got its PhD. Maybe that makes more sense. And whereas like the 10-pack is like, it's in university, but it's not necessarily a PhD. So that could be kind of the thing. Reinforcement horizontal is like, I would say high school. 10-pack is like university, and berry method is like PhD level. And if you're running multiple berries, you're going for multiple PhDs. So it can work, but it's a lot of work. Well, it's actually, I'll tell you, the berry method, when you run it, it is so cool because you check your phone literally every 30 minutes or 15 minutes, and you're seeing a sale come in. There was a time in an hour, I think I had like 15 necklace sales at one point. And I was just like, whoa, like holy crap. And the beauty of the berry method too is it learns the time of day that works best. So, you think, well, it's going to spread it evenly, 2,500 divided by 24 hours in a day, and it's going to spend exactly that amount, but that's not the case. So 2,500 divided by 24 is $104.17 an hour that you'd be spending with the berry method. That's not what it does though. It looks for and it learns the best time of day to run your stuff. So you don't have to, force it. Where with the reinforcement method, you have to force it because it's lower daily budget. It's not learning as quickly, so you have to guide it. Same with the 10-pack. $1,000 a day is big, but it's not that big compared to the berry. The berry is like the big dog. And the berry is like my go-to for, when you really want to blow things up. So if you hit a Valentine's Day necklace that's doing really, really well, and you can run that reinforcement and build it up, and you're over 100 sales, and then you fire up some 10-packs, and then you're over 1,000 sales, fire up a berry. If you're at 1,000 sales and you're firing up a berry, man, you're going to be loving life. It's a good time. It's just getting there. That's the hard part. And that's where a lot of people are stuck in the testing. The testing sucks, honestly, because you're spending money. Money's going out the door. It's not coming in. You're getting data, yes, but you have to get that payback in order to be happy and in order to gain confidence. Because when you fire up like 5-10 tests and you don't make a single sale, or you make a couple but they're not really good, you lose confidence and you think this doesn't work. I'm really upset. You go punch a hole in the wall or whatever you do to let go of stress, but that happens. But then when you get to the next level and you find something, then you go, holy cow, this really works. And then you gain confidence. So each of these levels is you gaining confidence and gaining experience and knowing that I know exactly what to do. And then the fun part is you go back and you're like, okay, this niche I'm kicking butt in. Let's add in another niche now. Let's do that. And then another and another and another. And now you've got, you're spread out a little bit. So your income roller coaster is less and it's all good. Here's another one. I've received a request to personalize with his name. Have you done this? What, on a necklace, you mean? Like a one-off? You could. I mean, it depends on you. If you want, there's nothing. If you have the ability to use Photoshop or something and change a word on a necklace, you can do that and then just upload it and send them the link to that product page. I wouldn't really get into too much customization just because it's such a slow process for very little return for you. But I'm not sure what context you're talking about there. I don't do that, but you could. That makes sense. You could also use like ShineOn or something, because then they could engrave their name on the back if they wanted, and then you don't have to be involved at all. That's an option. It's not the same if it's not in the design, but anyway, we are a little over time, so I hope you guys got a lot of value out of this one. I know I threw a lot of stuff at you, but go through the replay and these are the basic rules for scaling. So I didn't get a sale on the test I did, But I only showed you one test. You know, you got to run at least like 5, 10, 20, and then you'll get one definite winner out of that. The more testing you do, the better your odds of getting a winner. And as long as, like, follow the process too, and make sure you're going through step by step. And after I set up a campaign, notice I didn't upload these yet. Well, basically because I'm not going to run these on this necklace that didn't work, but you have to go through and check everything too. So please go through everything and double check your settings. So if it's men, you know, that's a reinforcement. But check everything. Make sure your links work. Make sure your settings are right. If it's what's this? This is the 10 pack. Okay. So if I'm in my 10 pack, start going through this and look at it. Okay, there's my pixel, check, got that. There's my start date, check, got that. There's my targeting, country, check, age, check, gender, targeting, auto, check, my bid, check, go into here, go into the ad. Page, yep, got the 2 images, good, got the text, good, and then actually preview it. Actually, I can't preview it until I upload it. But make sure your links work. So that's your link. So you're going to go to it. Make sure you typed it in right. You know, there's a whole bunch of little mistakes that we can make that are going to hurt conversions. So the other thing too, is if this is gold, make sure this is gold. Because if this is gold, and this ends up being a silver one they land on, it's going to hurt your conversions. Or the other thing, and if this is off, like if the mock-up doesn't look right, then that's going to hurt conversions. If the text over here is jumbled and there's misspellings and doesn't look correct, that's going to hurt conversions. You know, so with this too, currently at this point in time that I'm shooting this webinar, Gearbubble only has like PayPal available for checkout, which kind of sucks, but they're adding in another credit card processor. So what that means is only go with US traffic for Gearbubble right now, because if you start going worldwide, you'll actually get countries that can't use PayPal, so they can't possibly even buy your necklace. Okay, so be wary of that. That's just a temporary thing. Pricing wise too, somebody asked me about this. If I think it was somebody on the forum had one at $21.95, and look at your return on that. It's so small that you can't possibly be running ads to make money. So don't do the race to the bottom. Don't do the Amazon thing where the cheapest thing wins. Change your mindset. And so the more expensive something is, the more perceived value it is. That's with any product, even with my forums. I'm charging peanuts, so the perceived value seems to be peanuts when people are getting $1,000 a month or more worth of training and they don't see it because I'm charging too little. So that's the same with a necklace. If you charge like $21.95 and then somebody sees one at $39.95, it depends on the person, but they may gravitate. Like me personally, I would gravitate to the more expensive one because I think the value is higher, right? And I know there are some people that will gravitate to the cheapest option always, but you get what you pay for. And that's something that I learned a long time ago. So it doesn't matter what it is. So if we can increase the price instead of decrease it, it's also going to give us more profit margin, which gives us more wiggle room when we're running in the ads. So somebody at $21.95 or $24.95, they're never going to be able to run ads successfully to that. You have to have enough margin to make it work. And that's the problem. The other problem, just side rant, is Facebook knows exactly what our revenues are, because a couple of years ago, they said, okay, yeah, give us your revenue numbers, and then, we can optimize better, which, whatever, why would that even matter? The reason Facebook did that is so that they can ratchet up our costs and still keep us happy. So the days of getting super high ROI are gone. The only time you're going to see a super high ROI is from somebody who's advertising on Facebook, offering like a $10,000 program, and then bragging about how great they are at Facebook ads when they're spending like $8,000 to get one client. So keep in mind, there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that you don't see. There's even an advertising workshop being advertised right now for $49, and they're bragging about how great they are and how much money they've spent, but they're charging like $10,000, $15,000 for their program. So of course they can spend a lot of money on Facebook ads. You know, whereas us, we got a lot slimmer margins. So we have to be a little bit better at it than them, in my mind. Anyway, let's see here. If there's any more questions, I'll take them. Otherwise, we are going to close it off. Okay, so I'm gonna get this uploaded to the site. I'll put I'll put a copy of this on there too, so you guys can see a little bit of the general, notes from the webinar. And then I hope that if you guys haven't found a winner yet, keep going. And if you haven't found a winner and you've launched like 5 of them, I need you to post them in the forums. So I need to see it, and I need to see what you did. And the more information you give me, the better I can help you. So if you just post a necklace and say, this one got no sales, okay, then it could be a lot of different things. So the more info I have on like, not only the look of it, but the actual campaign that you ran in detail, the better I can help you. Okay, so don't be afraid to post one, because I mean, if it didn't work, who cares if somebody steals it, because it didn't work anyway, right? Okay, so reach out for help if you're struggling. If you're having a bad day, go to the forums, say, I'm so pissed off, and just let it out. I find when something bad happens to me in life or whatever, I will type out a lengthy, not email to myself, but now I use a Word document because sometimes I'm tempted to hit reply or something to an email. So I'll open up like a Google Doc and I'll just start typing. And when I'm typing out whatever I'm feeling, it just releases it out into the world, and then it's out of my body and it's into the world. And then I just delete that, and then I'm happy. So if I had a bad day or something stupid happened or something bad happened, I'll just go and rant. And then once I got that out of my system, it's like flushing it, I feel better. So if you're having a bad day, go rant on the forums and let us say, you know what, this happens, this sucks, you will get through this, and let us pick you back up. Or just go do it on your own. Just type, like, open up Notepad and just start typing. Be like, oh, that son of a bitch, he did this to me, and blah, 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 blah. I did that a lot when I was going through a divorce, because it was a very tough time, and it helped me enormously. It's kind of like therapy on Notepad. So I understand it's tough, it's not easy, but keep going and keep reaching out for help and tweak things and make sure that, minimize mistakes, and that's how we get it done. All right, I'm going to close with that because I'm losing my voice. You guys have a great day, and we will see you in the forums with the replay.